My husband enough to be out here looking for his cheating ass. I'm happy he gone. This the longest break I done ever had since we got married. He's controlling. Enough to be out here looking for his. I don't even like my husband enough to be out here looking for his cheating ass. I'm happy he gone. This the longest break I done ever had since we got married. He's controlling. I'm excited that he's missing. And then the police and y'all telling me I gotta sit here and do a news interview asking for help. I don't want help. I like that he's missing. I don't want him to come home. But I don't want y'all, you know, when the cameras start and stuff, I'll cry a little bit and act like I miss him, but I don't want the police thinking I had something to do with it because I don't care, but I'm tired of them. You get what I'm saying? Listen, I already done went to jail for holding my last boyfriend captive, but he deserved it. Exactly. So with my husband missing, they really gonna think it's me. I ain't did nothing. So whenever you ready, I'm ready. You ready? If anybody has seen my husband, please. I don't cry so much my tears won't even start falling out my eyes. Baby, if you listening to this, if you hear this from anywhere, please come home, y'all. Please let my man free. I love my husband. I need my... I heard somebody say it's live. This live? It's been live the whole time?
Only reason you got money is because your mama.
Yo, man, welcome to Sosaworld, man. We're finna do a little variety show, man. We're gonna talk about a lot of different things, man. We got breaking news on Julio Fulio murder, man. If y'all been keeping up with Julio Fulio and whatnot. That's a drill rapper that got killed. That got ambushed out there in Tampa. You know, they finally got his killers today. They got three of them. Three of them arrested and two of them still on the loose. Yeah, so we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna talk about what they got so far. I got some footage we're gonna go through. Recently, guy Mongo posted Rakim got a new album out, man. So shout out to Rakim, got a new album out, man. And I was joking around saying, you know, like if we'd have known Rakim was spitting all the pseudoisms back in the day, that, you know, we considered this infinite wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like how does it look now? Now that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not saying we should hate on Rakim. You know, it's just like a little joke. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna talk about that too, man. But it's a variety show, man. So look, man, just pull up, get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna get it cracking real quick. We're gonna give everybody time to get into the room, and you know, we're cracking this intro, man. We're gonna do what we do, man. I'm gonna share the link, give everybody a chance to jump on and do what they do. So, yeah, man, we're gonna start the show. So let's get it.
Where you going, baby? Where you going? Send the link. Send the link. We about to take a trip to Sosa's world. Have some good talks up in Sosa's world. Yeah, dialogue up in Sosa's world. Have your avatar, this is Sosa's world. Yeah, we be chillin' up in Sosa's world. So don't start tripping, this is Sosa's world. Classroom setting up in Sosa's world. You might get muted, this is Sosa's world. Big boss, yeah, Sosa's world. Got my own shit now, Sosa's world. Yeah, monetize up in Sosa's world. So come and socialize up in Sosa's world. All them other channels, they be talking crazy. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, baby. All them other channels, they be acting lazy. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, baby. All them other channels, they be talking crazy. Knowledge plus
Yeah, peace, Taj, peace, Smalls, man, Sadiq in the building, man. Peace for y'all coming through. The sound ain't coming through. Hold on, no sound. I run it back again. Let me get the link out for everybody, man. I'm gonna drop the link in the I'm gonna drop the link in the Discord and all the Discords right now. And then I'm gonna drop it in the chat. So, yeah. Hit everybody with the link. Boom. It's in the Discord now, Brass. So you said no sound came out. I thought I heard a sound. For the pump it again. We'll run it back again to the sound that come through. I meant to play it without it showing anyway. Shit. Boom, boom, boom. Events. Audio. I see why. Okay. Boom. Get her. I see why. Boom. Got Brass in the building. What's going on? What's going on, Big Hum? What's going on, Hum? Hey, you said there wasn't no sound coming out?
No, your song cut off midway through, like around 53 seconds. Give me a second. I'm just getting there from the city. I'm gonna mute up. I'm here though.
Yeah, for sure. I'll figure it out while I figure out what's going on.
How you gonna make fun of me because my
only
reason you got money?
I don't even like.
I had my skit, man. I put the whole my skit. Let me run my skit back and see if it comes through. I got a screenshot. Bam. Sound. Boom. Boom.
Only reason you got money is because your mama and daddy got money. You living off they shit. Bitch, how you gonna make fun of me because my parents did what the fuck they was supposed to do financially and I'm enjoying the shit? Cause you never had to struggle for nothing. So you telling me you think the only way to learn how to make money is to fucking struggle? The only way to learn how to be responsible is to fucking struggle. Yeah, that sound like some shit that a motherfucker that didn't only ever struggle to say. Well, my struggles gave me principles, but it didn't give you no fucking money. So you might want to tweak some shit, cause you probably fucked some up. Yeah, keep not being humble. Keep not being humble, you spoiled ass brat, and watch where that gets you. Man, what the fuck you mean, keep not being humble? Bitch, I'm not being mean. You literally started this shit because you got mad because you found out my folks had money. And when I defended them, now I'm the motherfucker being unhumble and an asshole and shit. This your fault. Well, I ain't got to sit here and listen to a spoiled motherfucker who done had everything since they was born. And I ain't got to sit here listening to a struggling bitch who ain't never had shit. The fuck? Only reason you got...
All right, the sound should have came through pretty good. I'm thinking right there, man. If everybody in the chat heard it, man, yeah, put a one in the chat. Let me know if the sound came through and y'all heard it. Man, make sure everything, the sound quality and everything's good before we start the show, man.
Yeah, the sound, it was playing good in the beginning, but it like in the middle of the song, it just shut off. But I just heard that skit. If that's what you were doing, I heard that skit though.
Yeah. I got it. gonna do a variety show style something. I'm gonna throw a skit in there too here and there just to keep the flow of the convo going. But you been keeping up with the did you pay attention to the other Julio joint or whatnot?
Yeah, yeah. I heard they caught the killers today. I'm glad they caught them. It's a couple more murderers off the street if they did it. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a crazy that little Jacksonville. People have been paying attention to Chicago, Atlanta, and Cali, but Jacksonville, quote unquote, quiet as kept. They've been putting up numbers on that murder scene. So I don't know. I'm glad they got them if that was them.
Yeah. No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, man. I remember I used to watch a little Trap Lord Ross.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, he might be. How he know? Man, come on. I mean, bro, this dude's. I don't know how a white boy from UK got so precise on what was going on in America, boy. But he was, man, he was spot on with so much, man. It's like at this point, it's just undeniable. You know what I mean? Like we can't even. We can't even pretend like that it ain't what it was. But yeah, man, and
You
so
know where I stand with
they
that.
got
Them
five
guys be
of them, right?
plants. Yeah, they got five. Yeah.
Right. So they got three of them arrested. So you already know the the two of them just, you getting life just because you affiliated with the situation if you get caught up. So you already know they looking to they're gonna look to tail, get that down to 40. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, all I did was make 2 phone calls in there. Like, I ain't.
It don't matter, bro. It don't matter, bro. You gone.
You
See,
feel
that's
like
that Rico. That Rico, you got to be careful. Like I was telling you, I think Max was on the last show. I got some friends in Jersey that got caught up on Rico, and I had some, I had some friends that I've had to tell since that time. Like, listen, I don't know what you into, but don't call me. I'll call you, bro. Because it's just if you in the phone and anything could be misunderstood, it's a wrap. So you got people like with the Young Thug case. Like how many people they snatched just to get him? They snatched like what 60, 70 people, individuals.
yes, sir.
Some of them people ain't had nothing to do with that. They just was in his phone, texting with him every day, talking. So you get some jail time to figure it out. But
Yeah. That's
it's a little wild.
get everybody up. We'll figure it out. We get to talk. Chef, what's good? What's going on with you?
Chef told me today I'm where you on mute, Chef.
Oh, my bad. I was talking to a student. What's going on with y'all?
What's going on,
man?
Chef?
What's going on with you, man? You hitting on that little Julio situation, man. You been keeping up a little bit?
Who?
Remember Julio,
Oh,
the drill rapper that got ambushed in Tampa? The dudes run up on him and sprayed his car.
Oh I'm lost.
Oh man.
What, he one of them little Chicago rappers?
Nah, he from
see,
Jacksonville.
immediately Chicago. I told
They
you
like
niggas sleeping on
they like
Jacksonville.
Chicago. They pretty much like Chicago over there.
Jacksonville, Florida or Mississippi?
Florida.
Oh, oh yeah, it's real out on Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew about it then. Yeah, I only knew from what I saw online. And then you listen to the records. I listened to Julio. I listened to the other kid. I listened to some of them records. My son listens to those records. So they talk about it. They got some funny songs. They replayed like these white pop songs and turned them into like murder songs. The When I See You, man, food.
I see you.
Yeah, I know you can't play it, but if you ever get a chance, just pull up Julio When I See You and Who I Smoke. Yeah, it's crazy. So
yeah, just
I
trying
mean they dancing on graves and
disrespectful this op song ever.
Yeah, easily, no question.
He was considered one of the longest living to do it. Like he's the longest. Yeah, this is crazy. They got But I'm gonna run the I got the footage of it. Pulling up on it.
Away.
So if
We
y'all
have a
think
one
out
to
there
your
drilling,
right.
folks,
Come
this
through
is
the
what y'all
front
gonna be
door
looking at. Folks
with
with
nothing in your
cameras.
hands. We are not going away.
Hands
Come
up!
on out with your hands up.
You're good. Come on out. Hands up.
Come
Put
on
your
out
hands
with your
up.
hands up. Bring it to the officer.
Can't tell. Yeah.
This is when they gathering the suspects.
Put your hands up!
Look at the crib, though. Dang.
Listen, put your
Put your
hands
hands
up.
in the
Listen
air.
to the
Hands up!
instructions. Hands in the air. Hands in the air.
You understand me? Like these ain't
All right.
probably
Slowly
good
walk toward
family,
me. Let's go.
good upbringing.
Right here. Right here. Walk right here. Let's
Just
go.
outside doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Walk this way. Listen to the instructions.
Yep.
Hey, get your hands up and walk out towards me. Hey, over here.
Come this way.
Over here. You're going to get hit with the less lethal. Get your hands up and walk toward me. Hands up and walk toward me. Hands up and walk toward me. Keep
Hey, yo,
coming.
why don't they
Keep coming.
just go get that
Keep
nigga?
coming. Keep coming.
You know what I'm
Keep
saying?
coming. Keep coming.
They can't go get them though. These guys got full
Turn around.
artillery,
Keep your hands up.
military
Turn around.
weapons. These kids is walking around with
Hands
literal
up. Keep your
rocket
hands
launchers
up.
and stuff like that. You can't
Hands
just
up.
go in
Don't
that
reach
crib.
for your waist. Do not reach for your waist. Look at me.
We could
Back
walk
up.
back.
Okay.
Walk back. This nigga,
Back up.
this
Back
nigga,
up.
they treat a
Back
nigga
up.
like John Wick.
Back up. All right, go to your knees.
John Wick, nigga.
Put your hands behind your
Bro,
back.
you don't. The
Stay
level
in.
of
Even
firepower
when he
these
walking
kids
back to
is
them with
playing
his
with.
hands up, they walking back too.
The level of firepower, I'm gonna say it again, that these kids is playing with. You don't know. Ain't no vest stopping it. Nothing.
Hey, Brad,
Isaiah?
they walking forward, hands up, and they walking back, like hands up. That nigga right there, John Wick, man. That's John Wick, my nigga.
Nah, but how many people you think he done killed? That kid right there. That kid, that one you call it a kid. How many people you think he done killed?
Two.
10, 15, 20? He probably done killed about 20 people.
Allegedly.
When they go in his house, Sosa, I promise you, he got AR-15s, hollow points, all kind of crazy stuff. These kids got artillery, not guns. They
That's
playing Call of Duty for real.
And that's
Keep
the other
walking.
one
Now
that
turn
she
around.
arrested too.
Put your hands
Like
behind
she
your back.
linked to it some type of way. Most probably it might have been a little party or might have had a girlfriend that tell her what's going on. Like she's a part
Are
of
we
the
gonna talk
organization.
about the torrential downpour?
I
Florida
know.
has the wildest weather ever, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then it'll stop sunning in 5 minutes.
It'll literally stop. Corey in the building.
Peek to y'all. Peek.
Kind of creepy. Talking about these Julio. Just caught them assassins. Get them off the street.
Radio. And anytime you think it's okay to play Grand Theft Auto in public, we need you
Time
off
to
the street.
go. Yeah, it's time to go. Get you away from my babies. And my babies got to go on these streets. Get away
Okay.
from my babies. My
Yeah.
son gonna get his license soon. I don't need you. If you feel like you want to shoot everybody, enjoy.
Yeah. Like she 18, so you know she don't throw her life away. Like he come out, like I said, a good household.
Bro, a lot of these kids, bro, probably think 18 is a win. Probably like, yep, I've had a full life. At 18, they like, yep, I made it this far, man. They celebrate their 18th birthday like they 50.
Yeah, man. So that was crazy. Like I said, they got 3 of them, 5 all together, 2 more on the run. They already talking about it. No way you can hide. No way you can hide. So they on them, boy.
Yeah, them down south sheriffs is weird. They do like PSAs. Like this guy, they'll have the guy arrested back there on the car and be doing a whole TikTok talking about this guy over here thought he could drive through my county going 120 miles an hour. He was sadly mistaken. Tell him, Jerome. Like it's the funniest thing. The sheriffs down there to get elected, they do highlight reels just to get elected. This is hilarious.
I ain't know
Sundown town. Boy,
what's
you
good,
can't go through them
Concrete? First time
sundown town.
across the world, Corey. What's good with you?
Not shit, bro. Just getting off the job. Yeah, we got in Indiana, you got a lot of them sundowner towns, boy. You don't want to get caught. Don't you get caught out there after dusk, goddamn it.
Yo, the funny thing with you, Corey, bro, is Midwest. It just brings back all the memories of being in the Midwest. It is literal. People think we done came so far, and I can name at least 10 towns in Ohio I will not go to past 5:30 in the evening. Telling you now, it ain't happening. A traffic ticket, I get life.
Anything south of 30, you don't belong. You definitely don't want dust to catch you. Anything south of 30, you know what I mean? That's what they say around here, goddamn.
Yeah, we had some places like that in Georgia, like, well, a little less now than when I first came in, say in 99 when I came in. But like when you leave Florida and you go to when you leave Georgia and start going to Florida, like you see, like it's a certain type of when you start seeing that strong American pride,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Love country.
The open rednecks.
With occasional
redneck.
rebel flag drove by, you know what I'm saying, license plate, like this is the area you don't want to be really down in like
they
that.
fully flagged in their redneck gear. They making it very clear.
Oh, they be proud.
These is white only pies. Them kind of towns.
Oh yeah. You see them Trump right now. You know, like see, my city is like, you get rural and city, like, you get out to that rural area, you start seeing them Trump flags. You know where you at. Don't be confused about.
You better straighten
about where
up.
you at. Yeah.
Straighten up and fly right. If you better tuck that seatbelt a little tighter, be looking at that speed gauge just a little bit. Because the thing is, they just need to pull you over. They don't need nothing else. It ain't like you got to be carrying guns, drugs, and all this, that, the other. All they need is for you to they just got to get you something they can pull you over for. Once they pull you over, you might as well you belong to the government at that point.
If they pull you over and they ask you lost, boy, you know you in some deep shit then. If they ask you lost, boy, you in some real deep. Everything you say from then on better end with sir. Everything you say.
You know the wrong answer.
Better end with
what the wrong answer is? Yes. The wrong answer is yes.
Yeah, the wrong answer is yes. Oh, you a sassy one. Oh, you a sassy. Oh, okay. We got one. We got one. That's when he stepped back.
You want them old uppity niggas, huh?
and he called the rest of the folk. Hey, we got one. Y'all come on down.
Yeah,
you about to have a cookout.
Sir. No, sir, I'm not lost. I'm gonna make a left up here. Right.
You better have been doing something for somebody. You better have been doing some work for somebody. Sir, officer, I just came from working for Jim down. Oh, Jim, you did some work for Jim? Okay, all right, boy. Now you want to get yourself on out of here now.
Yeah, go
Next time you want to have Jim give you a ride home, goddamn.
And the funny thing is, right?
You trying to explain South slavery on him. Like, actually, sir, I owed Jim some money. I had borrowed some money. I was having a tough time. I had to come out here. I'm gonna go straight. Poor black man.
You definitely better mention the name. You better have a name to give him.
A name that and you better not pull a name out your ass. You better have something that can be fact checked.
It ain't but 30 people in the town. He gonna fact check that.
Say Jim. It's gonna be 7 Jims. There's 7 Jims.
Don't no damn Sean's live here, boy. Come on out the car. No, because that's what I'm saying. You know, the funny thing is, like, we telling this story, right? And I'm sure some people from, I live in Jersey, but I'm from the Midwest. It's some people right now that think we are full capping right now. And I'm telling you now, go ahead, listen, I'm trying to tell you before you just be driving around all willy-nilly, thinking everything is sweet, thinking civil rights is, I got my civil rights and Jim Crow's over. Okay.
That don't mean a damn thing in Indiana.
Nothing.
Civil rights don't mean a goddamn. That means you smart. You a smart nigga, and you did in Indiana. You don't want to be a smart nigga. You don't want. You go to talk about civil rights and shit. Oh, you one of them smart niggas, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Make your money and exist.
We know how to deal. We know just how to deal with your kind.
Mm-hmm. Operation Get Home to My Babies. When you get in the car, That's the goal. Even in Ohio, to this day, 2024, it's Operation Get Home to Your Babies. The best you can,
Yeah.
bro. I got some friends that's changed forever, driving down 42 and 75 in Ohio, trying to get to school, just speeding, trying to get to class. And yeah, they got everything. These guys just did years. They just students, bro. They never did nothing. But it is what it
Listen,
is.
this is gonna crack y'all up. It's funny, but it ain't funny. My son, right? He he went to college in Fort Wayne, so that's pretty much south of. I live pretty much in the northernest part of Indiana you get, and Fort Wayne is almost south central Indiana, right? He he on his way back to school, right? He's speeding. He get down there. It's a little bit south of 30 because you got his school is past 30, right? It's just off of 30 actually, right? So he riding, he smoking weed, you know what I mean, speeding, and police get his ass, right? He throw the blunt out or whatever. The police like, yeah, but I can't find no weed. They search the car. They're like, yeah, I can't find no weed, but I smell it in here on you. It was like, well, you know what, boy? Guess what? This is what we gonna do. We're gonna take you to the hospital. We're gonna take you to the local emergency room over here. We're gonna get a blood test on you. And they got a blood test on his ass. And we ended up getting a lawyer and getting him out of it. But he was gonna face a DUI or WI. You know what I mean? For smoking weed like this. I mean, they ain't fucking around. They not fucking around at all with niggas here. I think they bullshit. These are true stories, believe me. The whole, even like when I saw that video with the young lady that was just recent, the incident with the young lady. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name.
Sonia Massey.
Sonia Massey, yes. I apologize for that. But you could like the tone of their voice, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all, like, the way, the body language and everything, like, you can tell, like, what they thinking, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how the police act around here. Like, just because she was a smaller black woman, like, she was less of a human to them, you know what I'm saying? And in certain places in Indiana, that's just what it is. Like, black men and women is less than human to these people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the craziest thing, I might even just play a little bit of that moment, go back to the crazy thing is that they was just about to walk away. Like he just would not let it in. He's like, everything okay? Yeah. All right. Is that your car in the driveway? You know what I'm saying? It was like, they had every reason to just bail right there.
Well, I just heard some more information that the young lady was the guy's wife works at the hospital where she had just left, and I think they had some words at the hospital. The Miss Massey and the officer's wife or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that too.
She's a nurse. She's a nurse at the hospital that she had just came from.
Yeah, I heard that too. I couldn't verify it though. I was trying to. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I heard it too.
I've been a little leery about. See, this is what I mean by that social media dudes. I'm gonna just wait a little bit. With these kinds of things, I don't mind being slow because I remember when the 4 black cops, I forgot that case, and I apologize, but where they killed the black man in the middle of the street, and then they started talking about how the guy slept with his wife.
Him to death,
yeah, they somebody he slept with his wife and all this other stuff. Turned out that none of that stuff was true.
I did hear that.
Okay, yeah, when I hear certain things, I just be backing off. Like, yeah, I'll wait. Because as soon as it starts sounding like a movie or a Tyler Perry movie or a Spike Lee joint, something like that, I start my antennas. Right. I'll wait. I'll wait.
But it kind of
like
with that one, right? You can kind of see like they do that bullshit anyway. With this incident, you're like, man, where was his mind? Like, what is he like? Because it kind of makes sense to me a little bit. Like he's already a little agitated. I wouldn't say like, oh, because she got into it with his wife, he went over there with the intention on doing that. I just
Right.
think he went over there with the intent, that would have caused him to be a little more, malice towards her. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, because I don't even understand, like, it just didn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all to me, like, how it ended that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, none of
But,
these, to me, none of these ever do. I just know, I think that one of the things, and I blame social media for a lot of things, but one of the things that I know is that we got a lot of cops scared to death.
mm-hmm.
Scared to death. These guys, I'm not giving them no excuse. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm just saying these guys walking around with guns, full authority, this, that, and the other. They running around here and they got this hyped up thought of what black people are, what minorities are in general, what they could do, what we're capable of, all that, we savages and stuff like that. And they just treating us as such. So rather than treating us as less than human, they treating us as hyper violent, and we're not. So put it like this: a pot of boiling water to a cop that's not afraid is just a pot of boiling water. Pot of boiling water to a cop that's terrified or a savage himself is a weapon, and she needs to be neutralized before she could throw. Like he added 15 steps to rather than what she actually did. He took the pot of boiling water on the stove and her having mitts. He took it all the way to this pot of boiling water could possibly kill me or maim me, or he did too much. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the
He
crazy thing is
weaponized
like
a pot of water.
okay, maybe he's not accustomed to African American vernacular. When we say things like "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," them ain't fighting words normally.
No,
That means whatever that devilish spirit that you trying to put into my,
Mm-hmm.
I rebuke that. I reject them.
Right.
Because she was like, because when she grabbed the water, you move away, and the dude said, I'm moving away, so because she's thinking like, why would you think that I would throw, like, get them?
Exactly.
I reject them type of implications that I'm the type of person that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what,
Exactly.
yeah. And so when dude asking to repeat what he said, she said, I rebuke him. I think she even meant to, like, it was more of a joke. I rebuke you. And she said, like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And then he just went like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, God damn, F your kids or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it just
I
went.
mean, if I was religious, Sosa, I would say, well, that just proves that he was a demon. I mean, literally,
And
everybody
you
that
think
most
they don't
people
got
that
that on
I hear
TikTok?
do,
And you think
huh?
they don't got that on TikTok? That's why he acted that way, because she spoke the words to an actual demon. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, if I was a
Mm.
religious person, it wouldn't be no way you could convince me otherwise. Like,
I
you
mean,
know what I'm saying? That would be the only, because this is thing how I started out saying, like, it just don't make sense to me, like why it ended like that. And then, like, just imagine somebody that's religious, like, yo, that motherfucker was a demon. She brought the demon out of him. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
to me, like, I mean, like, it just is logical from a religious standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
would go ahead.
No, I say, yeah, definitely, definitely. Like, when I see it on a TikTok, I'm like, I can't, how can I can't combat that. Like it, if you're religious, it makes perfect sense, because
Yeah.
all she said was, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Like, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if maybe he didn't have a clear understanding of what rebuke meant. I mean, I'm sure he's familiar with Jesus, right? Like the only word he could have been unclear with is rebuke.
And usually, like, so, like, it's not common for white people to use unless, like, you get to Georgia, maybe like them Southern Baptists may
Yeah.
use that type of language, but, like, around, like, especially around here, like, these white folks ain't gonna say no rebuke in the name of Jesus. That's black folks saying it, because most black folks are from the South or have parents from the South and are Baptist members of Baptist church. So, you know what I mean? Like, those is that's the language of that African American, old school church house talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, you on some bullshit. Basically what she was saying is, yo, the bullshit you on, bro, I don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you on some bullshit right now. That's what she meant by I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Right.
Like, yo,
Right.
you backing up as if I'm some type of threat. You on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? She knew it. And you know how I knew she felt, even though I think she was something mentally was going on up there, right? She had sense enough to know that them officers was up to no good, because when the 911 person called back to make sure that the officers had showed up, right? He was like, okay, the officer's there. You go ahead and talk to the officer. She said, no, please
No.
stay on the phone with me. She said, hold on, stay on the phone. And the reason why she did that, I felt, I don't know if everybody saw that part, but I felt like she saw, because it goes back again to, remember when I was talking earlier about the body language, the way they was standing, how he was talking to her. He beat on her door. Like, just put yourself in that little bitty frail, not, I don't mean frail she was skinny. She was very skinny, very small lady. You already scared somebody beating somebody outside. Now these motherfucking big old burly ass white boys is banging on your fucking door like fucking animals. They're not even saying, it's the sheriff's office or whatever, wherever they from. You know what I'm saying? They just banging on that motherfucker like she owe them some money or something. You know what I mean? And then how aggressive and rude, like, she was she saw that before that, and everybody was wondering, like, why would she say, please don't hurt me? It's because of these motherfuckers was aggressive on her. You know what I'm saying? Big old white boys in the dark with guns, and they ain't no motherfucker around but her, and she probably already know what they capable of. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like, Tamir Rice and Michael Brown was, back in the 1940s.
Right. She know you can call the police over to your house and get killed by the same police you call. Like, that's what's crazy. Like
already, all that's going through her brain at the same, you know what I mean? And her biggest fear. See, that's what I hate. I hate that. What she fears is exactly what happened. That's what pins me. That's what stabs me in my heart. That's what hits my heart the most right there. You know what I mean? Exactly what she was fearing is exactly what happened to her. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I guess with the trial, more things will come out. Because, like, one, they looked at the vehicle in the driveway, the windows was busted.
Right.
And it's like, but they didn't really pay it no
mind.
They
said that at the end. They said that at the end, though. You know what I mean? Like,
it was about ready to look. But I think when they first walked in, they looked at the window. I think I'm gonna go have to look at it again. But they didn't. But they was ready to leave before that, because, you know what I'm saying? Because it came to a point where it was like, I was like, this can't be the video, because it looked like they're about to walk off. Because he's like, all right. He said, he's like, is there anything else I can do for you? Talk to her like that, like a simple. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, no. You know what I'm saying? And she was about to close her door. And then he was like, well, what about the car in the driveway? You know what I'm saying? And then that kept the shit going on. He was like, but can I see some identification? Now they in the house. So I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but what's problematic about it? Right.
There's the thing, though, right? She hears somebody knocking, but in the background, there's clearly fireworks popping off. Like, you can hear pop. So it's reasonable that she may have heard that somebody could have been back there, or fireworks could have went off back there, or just the sound echoing. So it seems like, we could say, man, what is fireworks popping off? We looked around there. It's possible that you could have heard something, you thought you heard a sound because a lot of noise going on, but we check and you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just an unrational type of situation, and you got to bust it out window. That's why I was like, this shit was wild, bro. Like, that shit was heartbreaking as hell, bro. Like, I can't even front. Like, you know what I mean?
But what's problematic, and I just want to state some facts of the case. Her last words on this planet were, "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you." Yeah, I mean,
no. Her last words was, "I'm sorry."
That was okay. You're right. I'm sorry. Correct. So, but then, okay, so let's say her last two sentences.
That's her last. More heartbreaking.
her last two sentences on this planet were, "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you, and I'm sorry." And she got shot in the face. And like a lot of times, you know, one of the things the cops they don't take into, I think they don't take into to accordance. What is we just got off a call about this 2 days ago, is that they keep looking at this stuff. They forget she called them to the house. So if she was trying to do something, she called them. They weren't, you know, this wasn't a Breonna Taylor situation or nothing like that, Atiana Jefferson. This is, she called them to report a disturbance. So obviously, she's trying to figure out what's going on. And then he told her, take the pot off the stove. He told her that. Like, she didn't like go for it on her own, this, that, and the other. He told her, take that pot off the stove. And as soon as she complied, his whole energy changed. You like, he's cursing. You better effing not. I swear to God, I'll effing shoot you right in your effing face. Like, you've completely turned the amount of Black women getting murdered in their home by police is disturbing me. You know, you got Breonna Taylor, Atiana Jefferson, now Sonia Massey. I think there's some statistics. There's been about 250 Black women being shot by cops since, I think, 2015. I think 90 of them are in the home where they're just like doing regular tasks. So she wasn't a threat. And then after all was said and done, he refused to call for medical aid. He refused. They asked him, call somebody, even if she's dead or, you deem her as deceased. He refused to call aid for her. So
they got on the
and he got on
dispatch
the
and
phone.
said,
And he got on the
she was
phone and
still
said,
breathing.
yeah, right. He
right.
got on the phone
And
said
he refused to
breathing.
call. But here's my thing. I'm a challenge to y'all. Real quick question. My challenge to y'all would be
Shit.
So
Don't do it, bro.
I think in order to help, or I think in order to kind of change these shootings, these police shootings, to change it, I think they need to focus more on the crime and less on the race. Now I understand. Right. I know that sounds controversial. But just follow me for 2 seconds. I think when they throw the race in, because I'm always looking for distractions. He was charged with first-degree murder, no bail. I mean, they did the right thing on that end. But I think at some point, the focus needs to really stop being, well, this white guy killed this Black person, a Black woman, or something like that. Just start treating it like a crime. If you shoot somebody unlawfully in the face, whatever it is, just treat it like a crime, bro. Treat it like what it is. It's not always race baiting. It's not always some kind of this, that, and the other. Because what happens is this is my point. If you kill another Black person, whether it's right, wrong, or otherwise, whatever, if you're in the wrong, it's a crime. But then when you turn it into a race issue or a police training issue, or there's bad apples and this, that, and the other, they rarely just talk about police shootings as just murder. Like the murder, they call that the definition, the ultimate failure of law and order. So all I'm saying is to kind of move this along is, while I do know we had to understand that it's a Black woman that got shot, I think in order to get more justice for these types of killings, remove the race out of it and just look at it for what it is. It's the crime of murder. So when if you're not trying to figure out he shot her because she's Black, or he shot her because whatever reason, just shot him because he's a murderer. He committed a crime. He's a murderer. And then move it through the justice system and do it that way. That's just my opinion. It's not a popular opinion, but it's just what I think.
I feel that.
I agree. I agree with that 100% because the conversation gets bogged down and race relations, or
all that unnecessary stuff. It's a murder.
And,
I don't want to debate
at the end of the day, she's a human being who deserves to still be here. And some irresponsible guy took her life from her prematurely, and then that's the bottom line of, you know what I mean? What we need to do is worry about look at him as a person, right? So this guy's a dishonorably charged, discharged from the
military
armed service. He done been moved around. Now listen, I'm in the union, right? It's popular to move from company to company, right? That ain't, you know, but if they see that you done been to 6 different companies in 6 years, bro, you not like bro, motherfuckers is looking at you sideways. And I'm talking about to go out and pour concrete. No, nobody's life is in danger here. I'm not having nobody's life in danger. The standards is, I think, the standards is real low. This guy got DUI. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy is
Yeah, like a few of them.
He's a
yeah, 2
terrible officer.
DUI. Yeah,
Terrible.
yeah, he's
Terrible officer.
terrible.
Shouldn't even be working.
And it goes who should be held accountable is the person who hired him.
Oh, you
That's
know,
who we should be talking about.
All I'm getting hit up with that, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of ball fumbling.
Oh, there'll be a lot of resignations, a lot of people getting fired. But that's what I mean. Like, just treat it as a crime and let's move on because they're committing a lot of crimes, and it's not just black women; it's black kids too.
We got Unc in the building. Man, we're talking about the Sonya Master shooting, man. What happened to the sister or not?
Man, first of all, let me say hi to the brothers. What's going on, Brass? What's going on, Corey?
What's going on?
Yeah, I vehemently disagree with that. That's the same statement that Candace Owens made. She made that same type of statement. And so we talk about him being dishonorably discharged. So I was in the service and I know how that thing carried. So it's opportunities that's afforded to white males that a lot of people just don't get. And we got to keep understanding that. So you got to imagine how many dishonorably discharged black males are going to get hired in the police department. Okay. I'm not saying none of them would. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not making an overall sweeping statement. I'm saying how hard would it actually be?
Oh, based on the population, numbers going to be low. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The next point. When the COVID virus happened and Chinese people or Asian people being fairly, unfairly marked and people was actually going at them, based off of the coronavirus claiming it came from Asia and all that, right? There were laws and statutes put together, but the laws that they put together wasn't specifically for them, right? But it encompassed them because they were disproportionately being mistreated. Wow, because people all act like that they sent the virus to America, and we're all familiar with that. So then we already know, based off of the history in America, it's still there because the United States says it. The United States clearly says that racism is still tightly wound in the United States. You will get no public official that would say anything less than that, not unless you're just wild anyway. So we know these things will occur. So when a white officer, shoots a black woman the way he did that, right? No, we can't read his mind. We don't know what is in mind. We don't know what's in that man's mind, right? It's something wrong with him. But it wasn't that much wrong with him because he ain't shoot a white person like that. What he did was he chose to shoot a black woman. Since we do not know, right, we can never give them the benefit of the doubt on that type of individual that did that. So I think that's definitely in the game. And that's not taken away from the law or lessening it or messing it up or having no. Yes, it was a white police officer, right, that actually shot that black woman. You don't see that too often. You don't see white police officers, right, shoot on camera, shoot a white woman like that. You don't see a black police officer shoot a white woman like that. Now, we know the numbers are definitely high, meaning white police officers shoot more white people, right? And black police officers shoot. We know that. We know the statistics. Candace Owens has made us all familiar with that. But I'm saying, since you can't really figure that out, you got to add to the side of caution based off of the history in the United States, based off of the police brutality, not going in our favor in a lot of times, right? Based off all these factors, right? I don't think that's an issue to make that part of it. I think that's important, and we should stand behind that.
I think it's all in the game. I think it's all in the game.
I think it's all in the game, baby.
I think
it's all in the game. I think it's all in the game, but the point that I was making, I think that Brass was making too, is when we just only focus on the fact that she was a black woman and he was a white cop. I think we I think you get more substance out of understanding that, yo, this was a murder and he needs to be prosecuted. It was first of all, it was murder in the first degree. I would say it was premeditated because he told her what she was going to do. It don't take a day, you know, it don't take me to think about it for a day for it to be premeditated, right? He actually told her seconds before he did what he was going to do, what he was going to do. So I would go as far as to talk about the premeditation of it. You know what I'm saying? Like those are I mean, I understand, like, we want to talk about the fact that she's a black woman, but the fact I want this guy to suffer the consequences to the full extent of the law. And so I want to talk about the fact of the matter is not that she was black, but the fact of the matter that he told that lady who wasn't a threat to him, who had her hands up, who had apologized to him. He told her that he was going to shoot her in the fucking face, and that's what he did. He shot her in the fucking face. And that's murder. He needed to be sentenced to the death chair. I don't give a damn about if she was black. She could have been anybody. She could have been purple. She could have been Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. She was a human being, and he needed to be put to death because he's less than a human being. He's an animal, actually, and he demonstrated that. So that's what more so what I be focused on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part of the game is important to me.
Brass, I know you want to say something.
Yeah, I've looked into, you know, police shootings and things like that, and a lot of times one of the reasons why I don't like always just immediately throw it to race is because there's so many other factors that get left out when you just say some white guy shot at black people. The socioeconomic factors, the social factors, the psychological factors. You know, even though we're the ones on TV that you always see white cops killing black people, we're not the most shot by cops on the planet. You know, that's not how it works. And I think a lot of times,
poor people.
Right. It's a lot of it is socioeconomic. If you really look at it, I mean, we're not going to deny systemic racism. We're not going to deny that there's a problem racially. We're not going to deny that. I just think when you limit it to that, or you shove that to the forefront and skip socioeconomics, you skip all the other stuff that adds into it. I think when you do that, what it turns into is now this guy isn't just a criminal. This guy isn't just a murderer. You know, somehow he is now, you know, he shot a black woman, but they shoot white people too. They shoot Spanish people. They shoot Asian people. They shoot all kinds of different people. Right. They just, you know,
it ain't that bad to be racist. It's worse to be a murderer.
Exactly. And that's kind of like the point I'm doing. Mine is more in the end, whatever brings the justice quicker to animals and savages like him, for a human being to call the cops in regards to a social disturbance, and then somehow that ending with that cop saying, I'm gonna shoot you in your effing face, and then actually doing it, and then not rendering medical aid, to say that he did all of that, right, and just lump it as, it's a white cop killing a black woman. No, there's a bigger problem. There's a lot of factors that go into it, and I just think as soon as you add race into it, you just put a candle, or you just dim everything.
Let me say that. I think,
and then
you're in the Matrix.
Talking about
in the Matrix,
police reform and hold on.
He was starting to get a little clearer. Let me say this though. I think I agree with what you guys saying. Just to give both perspectives of it, right? You can't unsee it, right? Like you cannot, like, you know, we can't not see color, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, goddamn, bro, was it rebuke you? Like, what drives a man from rebuke you in the name of Jesus to that?
He's a murderer.
I mean, is he?
The murderer. He just got on a cop uniform. No, he's a murderer.
I mean, that could be it.
It's called racism, brother. We don't gotta look past that. Call it racism. Call it what it is.
I don't respect. This is a crazy ass nigga.
racism.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he had, remember, he didn't have his body cam on. Like, I don't see his body cam footage. Like, I don't think his body cam was
Yeah, it
on.
was off. He didn't turn it on until after the shooting.
You see what I'm saying? And then he was the one that was disrespecting her. Like, is there anything else I can do for you, man? And then even after he killed her, it's like the disrespect for the loss of human life was like the dude was like a goddamn psychopath after the killing, bro. He was like, yeah, crazy bitch. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Stupid crazy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was
Don't
just
throw
so,
water on me.
yeah, you know, and I think too, like, I get what you're saying. It's hard for African Americans too, bro. Like, just, you know, trauma aside, to see something like that and not harken back to everything we know about America's history. So I can see why. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go debate Candace Owen because I think that's fruitless. Prove to me it was racist. Like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's going to, in terms of law, that is going to be an angle that they will pursue too, to add to motivation for such a heinous act. You know what I mean?
Hey, so
Yeah,
can
and
you
there's
hear
a
me now, Sosa?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what I was saying is also too, like when they when it's time for solutions, like if we just aim at the fact that she was black, right? When it's time for solutions, things ain't allocated in the right places, right? Like you talked about the social economic parts of it. You know what I mean? The redistribution of wealth in back to the working class and shit like that. All of that factors in, and all of that, you know, has its place. You know what I'm saying? So, like focusing in on one of the things that would cause something like that to happen, I think is kind of detrimental because we're tackling like one of the symptoms of the overall problem instead of hitting the problem, you know, head on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think about, you know, the whole race thing. Like I said, it's important to definitely we definitely understand systemic racism and the part that it plays in policing, in our governmental, our court system, the judicial system all together, right? But it also goes a little bit deeper than that, and so we want to have a broad, you know, overlook of all of it, all of the things that cause something like that to happen.
You want to say something?
Yeah. I think actually adding stating the obvious is not actually missing or causing things to be missed. I think it make you put a keen eye on it. And this is what I want to say. For instance, when the Jewish community, man, when it come time for them to deal with anything, if you say Hitler was a good guy, they're coming at you. That's an anti-Semitic statement, right? And then we sitting here saying, well, maybe, you know, people in Hitler's family thought he was a good guy. You better not say it. You better not say it. You know why? Because they are in control of their image and who and what they are, right? Next point, Jewish community. The things that they deem anti-Semitic, they don't give a damn about what you deem as anti-Semitic. They don't give a damn. Matter of fact, they don't even want to hear it. And I say we got to be just like that. Why? Because they put a good example on how you're supposed to act. That's a great example of follow. So we're not trying to hear Candace Owens that it ain't the racism. They only doing it towards quote unquote the election time. Wait a minute, shorty. That lady just got her brains blown out. You can rest that for a minute. Why is that something to bring up in this time right here? Why would you use that right now? What's the point in that? You're out of order. You got to correct that. So maybe some of the things he said was right. No, we can't read the guy's mind, but we're not trying to read this guy's mind. We're actually looking at 200, 300 years of systemic racism, of racialization. Matter of fact, we got actual studies. We got studies of doctors. I believe they was going to Yale or Harvard, somewhere medical school, and they felt like that black people didn't actually feel as much pain. Where does that come from? That comes from a long history of wildness to where you're conditioned to think that black people don't feel pain as much as white people do. We know about what's the situation in where the young brother was going through the store. He stole the cigars out the store, right? And he was approaching the officer. Huh? Y'all remember that study, right?
Yeah.
Remember they did the study? He said, yo, he thought he was a monster. In his eyes, he's seen the black person monster. If y'all don't think for 1 minute, yo, that the same way y'all may look at white people, they look at you the same way. It's a back and forth thing. It's a problem overall. This problem has not been settled. So I'm not going to allow anybody to explain to me on how it was racial or it wasn't racial. No, it was racial, right? Because we say so as a group. We say that was racialized, motivated. Now take it to court and prove it differently. And I'm fine with that. But we're not going to let you tell us that it wasn't racial. We're not going for that. Jewish community wouldn't do it, right? And real simple, so we shouldn't do it. That's where I'm at.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I don't.
That would be a civil case. Right now, it's a criminal case, and we wouldn't be taking him to court to see if he was racial or not. We want to see if it was premeditated.
In terms of hate crime.
We know.
Hate crime, bro.
That would go to civils, right?
No. That would still go. Go to criminal.
That's criminal.
The hate puts more of a amplifier on whatever the charge is. The amplifier.
Okay, as an amplifier, right? But the bottom line is, we want to figure out whether we want to be figuring out whether this was premeditated or not. We know it was murder. That's because he's charged with murder. Now we want to go to court and prove that this guy thought about that. He's premeditated. The race thing ain't gonna get him that.
I think the hate that the black gives motive to the premeditation. This is a black woman. You feel me? You have this type of, they're gonna scour his social media accounts. They're gonna see if he made any racist statements, if he was caught, that's all in the game. He not it's all in the game. That's how they're gonna do it. I'm seeing rumors he had a tattoo on his arm. I don't know how true it is.
That's something would be harder to prove. Like if he wasn't a part of the neo-Nazi KKK group, then now we trying to prove some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like on a wing. I think let's go with what we got here. You see what I'm saying?
I think I get it for the court kid. I think what Aunt was speaking to was the public narrative. Like the court case is one thing, but we will keep the public narrative, nigga. Like he's basically saying it's anti-Semitic, what he think it did. Like, I don't give a damn what y'all say.
You're anti-black.
Yeah. Now when it go to court,
can't see me as human.
Hold on, listen. When it go to court, then we can do the regular, just however it is.
Yeah, right.
But in terms of the PR
campaign, and I think it might be a little bit of misunderstanding because I never was saying like it wasn't like some racial epithets behind it, right? But what I'm saying is, right now, like, okay, I'm not focused on that. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, it's the fact that it's reckless motherfuckers. Like who the guy that hired this reckless guy? What's the vetting? What's the vetting? How can we stop this from happening again? We don't never ever want this to happen again. We ain't gonna never stop somebody from not liking black people or strawberry ice cream, right? Ain't nothing we can do about that. But what we can do is make sure that we have a system. We can make sure that we have a system to vet these motherfuckers to make sure that they don't come in no more. What was the process to let him in? That's what we need to be focused on.
Yeah,
how did he slip through the cracks? You know what I mean? The fact that he's racist, everybody can see that, bro. No, we don't need to keep. I don't need to keep saying that he's racist, right? What needs to be, because it ain't nothing you can do about him being racist. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
time. Let me introduce DQ real quick and we keep building. I got DQ in the building with the smooth hat. Every time they got a hat like that, you gotta let him hat. That ain't a hat. You can't let a nigga wait with his hat like that. He gotta come on.
I got the Cuban.
Oh wait, got a Cuban link on a fedora.
I thought you was a Quaker at first.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Is that a Quaker? Well, you had it back. I say, is that a Quaker?
That's the next show. That's the next show.
The last person I see.
Oh, wait, what's that to the left? Is that one of your?
Hey, chill out, Corey.
Hey, you gotta go pick up your buddy. You about to go get your buddy. So what's that to the left?
You got the Cuban
So
link
you
on
get
that
all
thing.
you like. Yeah, there you go. I want all my cash, all of it, all of it. And if you give me change, it's over.
What's good with you though? What's good with you?
Man, I'm good, man. Seeing the conversation was rolling, said I'll join in. You know, some of my favorite kings on the panel. We about to go ahead and build, make some happen. So yeah, I'm here, baby.
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
So all right, so I want to be clear, right? Because a lot of times when I had these conversations in real life, for some Candace Owens and Sosaworld and all these people come up, I don't agree with what that idiot Candace Owens said. I don't agree with none of it. I mean, because she takes race completely out of it, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm very clear that was a white cop that shot a black woman and that race was involved. So when you start to, but the thing I have a problem or challenge with is when you start talking about socioeconomics, and those factors, it's like you're kind of trying to explain away race, and that's not what I'm doing, because I know class and race, because of systemic racism, these are all things that are closely intertwined. So a lot of times when you're talking about socioeconomics or you're talking about scientific racism, a lot of these things become intertwined. So I'm not saying that it's not about race, but I just think it should be more of a twofold response, right? Because I think that poverty, the lack of access to education, and other disparities, like other things that are disparaging in the Black community, when you just say, all I'm saying is that when you just immediately put the label of race, then a lot of times we just get really upset, we get fired up, we pay attention to it, and as soon as he gets locked up, we lock the racist up and that's it. And we never actually go to the other side of the coin. And the other side of the coin is trying to deal with these socioeconomic factors in our communities, dealing with the lack of education, dealing with the redlining, dealing with the distribution of wealth, to try to solve the issue before it happens again. If you just keep labeling everything as just race, then we think that the issue is solved. The layman, not somebody who's a deep thinker, a layman who's not really paying attention to it, you think that because we locked up the guy that killed George Floyd, and now this happens. So now we lock this racist up, and then it's going to happen again, versus when you don't pay attention. Yeah, but if you start working on these other things that lead to these factors, these shootings, when you look at them, when you actually look at the studies, the data, a lot of this is not in and around race, it's socioeconomics. It's in these communities where the money is low, and it's not even Black communities across. I can name 10 Black communities thriving across the United States. So it's not like we're just overly violent, but it's just certain pockets where all of these things like a tornado come together.
I get it, but I think it says something a little different when, because all police shooting in homes ain't equal, right? Okay, this person called them for protection. Like that's a key element that just can't.
That happens often. That happens pretty often.
That happens a lot,
especially in the low income communities.
Yeah. What happened? What happened again? Say that again. I missed it.
When a person calls the police for protection, I think that happened before too. When they shot the lady not too long ago. I said, we're talking about the person. I'm calling you for protection, and you treating me like I'm the suspect.
Yeah, so I like to see how many.
That's the point. And that's how it goes in low income communities. It's the same. It doesn't really matter. I think it's I think it's disproportionate to Black people, right? But because of the numbers. But it don't really matter because in the low income neighborhoods, you have a high police presence in low income neighborhoods. And because the reason is is because of this is how cities and towns create revenue, you know, through the traffic, through and 90. If you look at the police arrest records and convictions and all that, 95% of the court cases, the convictions, the arrests, the fines, the tickets, those are all low-level crimes. All low-level crimes, and what those low-level crimes does is creates perpetual revenue coming through that court system, going through in and out of that jail system. In Missouri, I believe, they had the average household had 3 arrest warrants, you know, all from debt collection. They was owing somebody, and so they put a warrant out for their arrest. You know what I'm saying? This is why you have a higher police presence in the lower economic, in the lower income neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So like when you diversify the neighborhoods, when you have when you have different classes or different groups of people, and you have a white collar and you have the blue collar people living in similar neighborhoods, it changes. Now it's the you know, you don't have that police presence there because it's less likely for them to be collecting debt from somebody who's doing a little bit better in society. So they don't go into those. They don't highly police those neighborhoods the way they police the lower income neighborhoods. And of course, lower income is disproportionate to the Black community, right? So that's why you'll find everything being more disproportionate in the Black community.
Yeah, that's the. So yeah, I'm all for defund the police. And if you don't understand what defund the police is, you need to look it up. There's a great article on Wikipedia. The statement itself, defund the police.
You gotta touch on that. You gotta touch on that. You know, when you say it's gonna sound a little wild.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive. It's
Wait,
counterintuitive.
say that again.
Know what that is by now. I mean,
defund the police.
You said you're for it?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely positively. I'm for defund the police.
we got 2 more shows. Let's rock. Let's go.
Yeah, I gotta go. Man. I gotta go.
Let's go.
I don't know. That's kind of close. What? That's kind of crazy.
I mean, do y'all know? No, go ahead.
Yeah, I know y'all.
No, I'm just about to say something circling back because I remember when we was talking about the hip hop situation and we were talking about rappers checking in, and I remember you was a fond proponent of going and get you a cop to be your security, and now I'm hearing defund the cop. You know, it is counterintuitive. So let me just make sure I get an understanding of what you mean by that because it threw me off.
Yeah, the Wikipedia, read the Wikipedia article to help you out. It means nothing to what y'all think it does at all.
I'll share it.
It throws you completely like, and I hear people, yeah, you actually think I'm saying take police officers out of the such and such. Nope, that's not what defund the police actually is.
No, that's not what it is.
Yeah, what it's saying is, like, for instance, like, you should not have the police coming to people who have a mental health issue, right? Where you fuck around and blow his head off. No, you should have the proper authority. You should fund the proper authorities, right, to go help that man. He might need medicine. You should have like some type of person who can look at this guy and say he's going through some type of a mental illness right now, mental attack. And he doesn't need to be his head blown off. What he needs is he needs help right there. The police shouldn't have nothing to do with that. There's a lot of Black people to get shot down, right, to have mental problems, right? You running down the street naked and they shoot you. I mean, you shouldn't know. You should have the proper people there to understand that. So you go ahead, Sosa, get you what defund the police actually is, and not what we think it is. You had up on the screen.
I'm gonna change it up so we can get a good view on them. Talk about it a little more.
Yeah, even under that, I just want to make this clear. I am completely against defunding the police. I know exactly what it is, but just looking at where America is at this point, we're not even prepared to even have that conversation of moving funds to moving funds away from the police to other things, because the whatever department we'd have to create in the majority of communities where you would actually need it, you'd actually have to create those departments um,
No, they
to
already
even
there though.
begin to.
Let's talk
They
about
already
it.
there.
Let's talk about it.
Let's
Let's
talk
read it
about
real
that.
quick.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
The United States defund the police is a slogan that supports removing funds from the police departments and reallocating them to non-policing forms of public safety and community support, such as social services, youth services, housing, education, healthcare, and other community resources. Activists who use the phrase may do so with varying intentions. Some seek modest reduction, while others argue for full divestment as a step toward the abolition of a contemporary police service. So the activists who argue support the defunding of the police department often argue that investing in community programs could provide a better crime deterrent for communities. Funds would go towards addressing social issues like poverty, homelessness, mental disorders, and police abolitionists call for replacing existing police officers with other systems of public safety like housing, employment, community health, education, and other programs. So that's just a quick little intro into.
Read that last line again.
Police abolitionists call for replacing existing police forces with other systems of public safety like housing, employment, community health, education, and other programs.
So, okay, you're never going to stop a person from selling drugs, right? And so if you put all the money in for locking dudes up for getting, right, that's not going to work. So in actuality, you need to cure the person or help the person that need the damn drug, right? Because as long as people want to get high, there's going to be somebody that'll sell it. But if if you help people in a situation, then you can lower the numbers of drug addicts that would even need the drugs in the first place. So instead of having a war on drugs where you lock up the person getting high, right? Put that money into actually programs, jobs, all kind of stuff that would actually help change the community. So what the community actually needs is we need to overhaul in the damn community. The way we see the community needs to change, right? We not all criminals. Most African Americans aren't criminals, okay? Not at all. Most African Americans don't even get high or use drugs, but the way it's looked at. So we need community funding. We need programs that's going to actually help us, right? And if you get programs to help us, right, then more of us will be ready to get jobs, right? We'll be less deterred for committing crimes. We would have more home ownership. More home ownership, okay, make you want to take care of your property more. So I remember the case where the young brother in Baltimore, Maryland, he bought a house in his area. I don't even know what, off of Shirley Avenue. The reason I remember the story, Sheffrin was talking about the story. I seen the story on YouTube, but I didn't realize it was Shirley Avenue, right? So Shirley Avenue was one of my corners. Okay, it's a wild area. But this young fella bought a house in that area. I would have told him don't buy the house there, but he bought the house there, and he had like a little space between a house and his house and another house, right? And they was running drugs back and forth through there. So he was basically saying, I got kids playing on the porch, man. Can y'all stop that? Right? So he put up a fence. Okay, put up the fence. The next day they killed him. Okay, so see, there's a problem there. We need to refurbish neighborhoods where the community start caring about their neighborhood, where the people who just selling drugs get pushed out of that environment like that. Push them out. We don't need them there. We need more people like that brother, young brother, to invest in houses, right? Because you can definitely change the hood from a hood. The reason it's a hood because everybody renting. That's why it's a damn hood. Everybody renting, low income, and all that. But if you change those, and if you change that position, if you change the think, we always say if you can change the thinking, you can change the individual. So yeah, I support in a moderate degree defund. But I'm not saying take the police out. The community is not even ready for that. But we do have places in the world that don't actually have guns. You say, well, how could that be? Because they in an environment where I think it's Japan, right? Japan don't have guns. They run around with guns, right? So I'm saying it's all attitude. It's the way you see yourself. So I think if we can put ourselves in a better light by getting help, I think it would. I think the crime rates can be lowered, and I think we can be more successful in just locking up everybody to get high, right? You got return offenders. Those programs need to be. People need to be able to get educated. Remember we talked about that. 90% of the people that's in the juvenile system was illiterate. Well, I'm fighting that. Dr. Mayat is fighting that. That's what we're doing. We want to have programs in place. Dr. Mayat has a program in place that will educate the babies. And the better your baby read, the less more likely your baby is to start diving into crime. And that's interesting right there. So, that's my point. That's just
speaking to the also the Sonya Massey thing, like, because I'm kind of reading over it. Like, I didn't really took a deep dive into the defunding police. I'm looking into it now, just to do a little more research now, and I'll do a little bit afterwards. But I like this part that they're referring to, talking about the unbundling of services, right? I like that aspect of it, where it said that police officers may be particularly badly suited for some community issues such as mental health crisis. And I remember, like, with the Sonya Massey thing, that I think she was already on record of being like what they call a 1069. A 1069 is somebody with a documented mental health case. You know what I'm saying? I think that was part of it. When you hear the author saying that, I think that was he was laying that down as part of his excuse for the rationale behind. You know what I mean? Yeah, the bitch is crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? And so you see him go to radio like, well, do we have any reference of her being a 1069? You hear him get on the radio and say that's what that means. 1069 is mental health issues. So which is crazy. It says 1 in 4 people who are killed by the police. That's crazy. Like 25%. That's what that means. 1 in 4 people who are killed by the police have severe mental illness. Mm-hmm. Some activists argue that if someone is experiencing mental health crisis, and if there is no emergency threat to themselves or other people, mental health professionals may be more adept and capable responders. And because the unbundling of services speaks to the fact that basically they're saying, like, we're relying on the police to do too much shit. Shit that they may not even be prepared for or even the best suited to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So I like that aspect of it.
And so it seemed like what we get into is basically the reallocation of funds, right? Right. Basically reallocating funds. And so that's what basically I was saying in the beginning, like, when you focus on the race issue, right, it takes away, not that it's not an issue, right, but we're only hyper focusing on the race, and that's just the symptom. You see what I'm saying? Like, of the overall thing, we're talking about a socio-economical, changing the socio-economic situation in places. Somebody talked about the housing and the neighborhoods and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you change the situation, the socio-economic situation, the whole overall thing changes. It's kind of basically Kamala Harris got some flack for saying something the other day about. She said, "Yeah, I wouldn't get a program and just call it just for Black people. That's crazy. But what I would do is I would deal with programs that overwhelmingly affect the Black community, right? When you fix the minimum wage and things like that, when you fix the medical industry and how they deal with patients, and when you fix the police department and you reallocate funds and have them have a program to where they deal with mental issues and things, that overwhelmingly will affect the Black community. You see what I'm saying? So when we need to focus on the issues at hand, rather somebody trying to get in somebody's head and figure out whether they was racist or not. You know what I'm saying? I just think, you know, it's that's a obvious point already. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know he saw her as less of a human, simply because she was a Black woman, right? But if her socioeconomic situation was a little bit different, right, I think she would have had a better chance, you know, in still being with us. But that's just my opinion, though. You know what I mean?
So you think if she'd had a bigger house?
No, that's not. I know you want to simplify it like that. I'm saying, like, when you have, I know it's funny, but when you have a better social economic situation, you're more likely to have a supporting cast behind you. You see what I'm saying? She would have been less likely to been out there, been there by herself. You know what I'm saying? And then the police would have been less on edge if she would have been in a nicer house. You know what I'm saying? And and her neighbors were nicer people that would have came out and said, yeah, I heard something too. See, when you're a part of them type of better neighborhoods, your situation is different. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Not just the simple fact that she would have had a bigger house, right? I know that's a funny joke.
No. I didn't finish. I'm gonna let you finish. I want to finish. So
yeah, I'm just saying her overall socioeconomic situation would have been different, because it's more likely she would have had a supporting cast, like neighbors and shit like that, family members and such. But go ahead.
But she did have a supporting cast. You actually heard her father speak eloquently.
Right.
And I think let me finish though, Corey. So no matter how much money she had, the damn police was a nut, man. Right? So you can't say I rebuke in the name of Jesus. He took it wild. Like, it's something wrong with him. And since we can't quite put our finger on it, I'm saying you're a racist cop, bro. Because you didn't see and you said it yourself. You just admitted it, Corey, without even realizing. Once you say that he didn't realize her as being a human, then I gotta say, well, that was the racism. The racism absolutely said.
I never said it wasn't racist.
No.
I never said it wasn't racism, though.
Okay, so
that was my point. That was.
So let me finish. Let me finish. So once you say that he didn't recognize her as being human, then we got to go back to the days when they didn't recognize us as being human. In the face of everything going, you mean to tell me you don't know we human? And that's racism, though. And so if you're saying that it's racism, then I don't understand none of your talking points. I understood your talking points. I might not have agreed with it, might not have agreed with you on Brass, but if you and Brass are saying that y'all not saying that race don't got nothing to do with it, or y'all not saying that the race ain't, then I'm confused at this point, though, Corey. I ain't gonna lie. I don't understand it. But if y'all saying that we shouldn't look at the race of it,
because I kept saying
it's like
that
y'all
race
quoting
has
it,
something to do with it.
Y'all quoting it, though. But you can't. Okay, if race do got something to do with it, then go ahead and put the daggone. There's an act for that, though.
Saying why. I'm saying why hyper focus on that when that's a symptom of the overall issue. What I'm saying is, you see what I'm saying? See, like my man said,
if racism is not a symptom,
my man Sosa just read a stat. He says 1 in 4, basically 25% of mentally ill people who get off by police officers, right? That's a real stat.
One of 4 shootings, 1 in 4 police killings.
1 in 4. 1 in 4.
Yeah, bro.
25% of all the shooting is going on is mentally ill people, right?
In poor neighborhoods and rich neighborhoods.
If we change the way that we do our medical system, our insurance, the way we do our healthcare system, right? That will automatically mitigate that. And guess what? Guess who would benefit from that more than anybody else? The Black community. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying that cop wasn't racist, because I just told you he was racist. I said he was racist because he didn't see her as a human. I
know,
keep saying
Corey.
that
So,
over and over again.
Corey, so if that's what you're saying, Corey, then you don't gotta say that. Then think about it.
No,
If you're
I'm saying
saying
that's
that
my
he's
point.
racist,
I've been saying
then
that's the
so
obvious
hold
thing.
on, Corey. Let me finish. So
Go
if that's
ahead.
the obvious thing, then let the obvious thing be the obvious thing, and then we'll take care of the rest of it. Then it wouldn't matter. Then
No, the rest of it is the important thing, though.
No.
The
Hold on. Let me
socioeconomic,
say. Let me say
the
this. I was
healthcare
quiet. Go
system.
ahead. I was quiet a little bit. Come on, Corey. Let me
You're
get my
talking
point out.
about somebody
I
in
know,
their
Corey. Let me
mind and
just
the
get
way
my
they
point out, though.
think.
Corey, I
Get it
shut
off,
up. Let me
Corey. Let him get it off.
You're talking about
Corey, let
somebody
him
in
get it
the way
off.
they think.
Let him
Go
get it off.
ahead. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Corey.
Yeah, I said go
Corey.
ahead. Go ahead.
I
Let him get
think
it off.
I think you're completely wrong when you say racism is a symptom. I'm saying racism is the problem. It was the problem that brought Europeans into Africa. That was a problem. That is the problem, right? And and that's why we're
Hold
socially.
on, let him
That's
finish.
why we
Let him finish.
socially.
Let him
I'm
finish.
saying, but that's why we socially behind. That's why we're financially behind, right? It's because of racism. Because it was a race. It was people, right? And they said, "Pow." One group was in chains, the other group went and used our labor to billions of dollars to cause the daggone wealth gap that you're talking about. It was racism that caused the race gap. It wasn't the other way around. That wasn't a symptom. That was the problem, bro. And the rest of the things are a symptom, like low income, your social economic status, and all that. All that came out of racism, bro. That's what I'm saying. And I never make that. I'm never confusing that.
Black people
So,
the
like
only
I'm
ones.
saying, let me just finish. I'm not worried about nobody else. It's nobody else I'm worried about at this point. I'm talking about a white cop going in the house and blowing somebody's brains out, right?
So what you want to do because he was racist?
And she had
So what
mental
you want
health
to do now?
issues.
Because he was racist.
No, I'm saying that.
We all
I'm
know
saying
he's
there's a
racist, so
little.
now
I'm
what
saying
we do?
there's another thing to that, though. See, there's another layer to that.
Go ahead.
There's another layer to that. So now they got laws because everybody. I'm glad everybody don't think the same way. So they got laws. If it's a racially charged crime, bro, you get more time for that. So we could absolutely say that.
Okay,
I want
so now
everything
he
thrown
gets
at the
more
guy.
time. Then what? Now what happens in the situation? Now how do we prevent that from happening again? Now we found out he's racist, and we know he's racist, and we called him a racist.
Stop letting white people who got
racist,
dishonorable degrees work in the police department when you ain't letting that happen to nobody else like that. That's racism too. See, it's the racism that make you don't see that. How you not see that man been going around from police department to police department?
And they kill
let it
more
be a
white
black
folk
man
than
though.
they do black folk.
No, let it be a black. No, let it be a black man with a dishonorable daggone discharge from the service, and then on top of all that, run around and leaving police departments, bro. That's gonna follow him like a bad goddamn disease.
It's piece of shit niggas in the police department too, nigga. Like I don't understand what you're saying. There's no piece of shit niggas in the police department. That what you trying to tell me?
I'm trying to tell you, just switch the conversation in the process of calling me a nigga. You tripping? You just changed the whole conversation.
I'm saying
that's a change of the conversation. That's not what I said. That's not what I said, Corey. Corey, I didn't say that.
It's hard.
Corey, I didn't say it was only white people.
You know what? You one of the hardest niggas to talk to. It's crazy, bro.
That's why
because you just told me that he wouldn't be if he was a black police officer. They wouldn't have let him in the damn police department because he had all the bullshit on him. And I'm asking you. You telling me ain't no bullshit niggas in the police department? Is that what you said?
So that statement meant that? If I say no. Hold on. If I say to you, hold on, Corey.
If he was black, he wouldn't be there.
Hey, Corey. If I say to you, Corey,
he was black. Listen,
hold on, Corey.
So
you're saying if I say to you, Corey,
what time am I gonna be able to talk?
Hey, Corey. I don't know. I was in the middle.
You keep saying let Unc get it out.
You just finished talking, Corey.
Corey. Trust me, when you replay it, you gonna see it's been pretty fair. But like I just let you get out. This is a back and forth.
So it's Unc's time. Go ahead. It's Unc. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you actually start me have to raise my level, yo, because I can get down like that. You know it. I know it. I know you can get down like that. So I'm saying, so why do it? Let me finish my point.
Now, like
I'm gonna do it very eloquently. So I'm gonna say this again. I have not forgotten. So you're telling me if I say that Europeans are afforded the opportunity more often than black people are when they get dishonorably discharged. Look at you.
Don't finish, Corey. Go ahead. You kill it with the go ahead.
And if you're trying to hear some clarity, I don't mind you diving in.
If you
say, give me some clarity.
Then let's just move on.
No, I'm not switching it. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start it over again.
I'm ready to move on, bro.
I'm not me. No, sir. I ain't gonna let you do me like that. No, sir. Won't happen.
Get it with the go ahead.
No, sir. If I say to you that, man, Europeans afforded better opportunities after they get army discharged and after they move from police to police department for different issues, right, around a policing. That's not saying that there are not black people that are pieces of shit. I don't even know how you reach that conclusion, bro. I rest my case.
All right, so anybody else can go?
Yeah,
Y'all two
Brad.
niggas just in the
of
middle of the ring
underlane?
or something. Yeah. No, I don't even want to talk about defund the police. That's a whole nother show.
It's the variety show, but go ahead.
No. Hell, I know you slick, nigga. I know what you doing.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm terrified.
I sense fear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I think where you run into it though is we're kind of ignoring that racism and the socioeconomic disparities, they're so intertwined that sometimes when you try to talk about one or the other, you really can't, right? So like scientific racism or systemic racism, it's literally like the root that causes the socioeconomic disparity, right? So only thing I'm saying is, and I'm maybe quoting Corey wrong, but when you just say race, right? So you see how I just said that? Socioeconomics is caused by, the root of it is systemic racism, scientific racism. So when you just say race, you forget everything else. It's like you don't even, and it kind of goes to the point of reallocating funds to these other things, right? That's part of the reason where defund the police comes from. It's to move away from a race conversation. Now, if you want to just say race, fine, but I think maybe attack it a different way. Are we clear that it was race? Yes, right? It's a white man, a black woman, so there's a racial something going on, right? In every case, I would always say that. But because they're so deeply intertwined, we're talking about the same thing, but I just want to tackle the root causes, the redlining, the employment, the education. Like, we could say it's a white man killing a black woman, but where she lived in Springfield, Illinois, being from the Midwest, that's a violent place. So whatever support that her father got and all this other, and where she didn't exhibit socioeconomic things, that's a violent area that she lived in. Yeah. And that's part of socioeconomic. So I'm just saying, because they're intertwined, we're not saying throw race out. It's just when you take the root cause of the socioeconomics and just throw it to the front and never deal with any of the other stuff, then we're just going to keep happening over and over and over and over.
I don't think he's saying race only. And I think here's where y'all fundamentally disagree at.
Who's y'all, real quick?
No, when I use y'all, it's in reference to all parties. Like, you know.
Okay.
I ain't never say the whole. I ain't never said it was. I ain't never said that.
So I'm saying, see, Unc is saying. See, here's what you're saying too. You're saying that they're so intertwined, like they're twins. They are genetically the same. They're identical. You can't talk about one without talking about the other. So Unc sees race as a primary, right? And then you and Corey more seeing the social economics as a primary. But
no, I see the socioeconomics as the thing that you can actually fix. Can I stop white people from hating black people? No. Hold on. That's all I'm trying. No. Let me get this point out, because now I get where you think what we're saying. That's how you get what we're saying. I cannot fix a white person loving or hating black people. But what I can focus on is making sure that the next set of generation, we can focus on their housing, their schooling, their healthcare, their finances, their employment, so that the socioeconomic factors, even if the race is still in it, like somebody was saying, when you were saying how if she was in a different neighborhood, this, that, and the other, that if the socioeconomics are different and the people are still white and black, it's different. If somebody I'm not saying I can't get shot in my house where I live, right? I'm not saying that can't happen. But I know for a fact, based on socioeconomic factors, whether that cop likes me hates me or otherwise, it's not a real great chance that I'm lowering my chances of that happening, whether he's racist or not. Could he still
You
shoot
don't
me in the
think
face?
twice.
Yes.
But listen, I
Yes.
get it. I
You
But
get
if
got
it.
you
the
come to
means.
this
You got the
neighborhood, if you
means.
come to
You got
this
the means
county,
to take his ass
yeah,
to court. It ain't even
yeah,
not even just about killing. It's just about police brutality
yeah.
and treat going against people's rights and shit like that. How they deal with people on a day-to-day basis, right? When they come in certain neighborhoods, it don't matter what color you is, right? They know that, yo, I better deal with this person in a certain way because they have the means. You see what I'm saying?
I
To
get
take
it.
this to where it needs to go. You
But
see what
here's
I'm
the
saying?
thing, and here's a
That,
pushback, and I get it. Here's a pushback, right? Okay, and I can
I don't
agree.
know
I
that it
can
needs
agree with what y'all
pushback.
saying. I don't.
Why that can't just be a
No,
fact
no,
and then
no,
you can state your fact.
no. I said that's why I said I'm finished. I agree with what you're saying. So I'm gonna just say, in addition to, right? Because I started before Brad jumped in. I talk about twins, right? I'm talking about identical twins, and what I'm saying is that okay. So in the meantime, you're until the what y'all talking about is done, people still have to navigate that lower income community, which is predominantly African American people of color. You know what I'm saying? So how do you it's still going to fall along racial guidelines. So like I said, I like the unbundling.
One you can do
just
something
hold
about,
on,
like Brad said.
hold on.
One
I
you
get
can
it.
do something about, and the other one you can
I
just
get
complain
it.
about.
I get it. So, but in the meantime, you would say, okay, you know, why don't we send professionals who are better equipped to handle these situations in these African American, predominantly brown communities? You know what I'm saying? Like that, because that's, I mean, you can't get around it because, the shits go together. Poverty and lower income is, there's a color that goes to it. So in the meantime, you still have to
But
find something
I
to.
don't know that. Like that's another thing too. It's like, uh, like black people like need social workers and help. No, we just need more money. We just need better jobs. We just need the
No.
minimum
I'm not
wage.
saying
We
black people
need
got to
better
be
health
social
care
workers. No,
and
I'm
shit like
saying it's
that.
like,
You know what I'm saying? We
when
don't
I think
need
about,
nobody coming in our neighborhood.
no, here's my point. I'm not saying that we now need to run out and become social workers to do in our own community. Well, no, that would be a good thing.
No, we don't need to
That's
run out
not.
and do no
No,
social
that's
worker.
not what I'm. That's not what I'm.
We
But
need to
hold on. But
run
that's
out and
not.
make more money.
Hold on. That's not the point I was advocating for. Now, but I'm saying I can agree with that. I can agree we need more black police officers. I live in Atlanta. I see the benefit of it. But that's not why I made the statement. Right? I'm saying, like, when I said we need, like, when we look at the Sonya Massey situation, man, it would have been better if they would have had a mental health person assisting alongside of them. Maybe came with them to the scene. That shit could have played out different.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about, especially when the person's on files at 1069.
But would that matter? Would it even if she was white or black, it would have been better though. If anybody having an episode.
But the hypervigilance comes to the fact that she's in a low income area that's just so happened to be filled with black and brown people. That's why you can't get away from, you know what I'm saying? It's like no matter how we put it, a nigga gonna
and two.
Let me say this
again. I think culture played a part too, and so I agree with you that it should be more black police officers because the rebuke, you know what I'm saying? Shit, when he probably would have laughed if he was black. Like, come on, sister, don't do me like that. Right. I'm a church going man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I mean? But I agree. Go ahead.
So is race a social construct? And then I'm not asking anybody a question. So is race a social construct or not? Of course it's a social construct. So since it's a social construct, things around that can actually be fixed through education. You actually can start to realize that people that don't look like you aren't this and aren't that. You could actually fix that.
It's been 200 years.
We see the growth in the country. We actually see the growth in the country because you done went from getting hung from looking at a white woman to now somebody come in your house, right, and shoot you in the damn head. But the numbers are way,
we
way
graduated.
down. The numbers are way, way down. And then, oh, by the way, she gonna get some money for that because when you was getting hung for it, nobody got no money. They couldn't even find your body. So these things can be worked on. These things can be fixed. And oh, by the way, we can chew gum and walk at the same time. So we can deal with the racial element of it, and we can deal with the policing element, and we can deal with the quote unquote social economic status of it too. But see, here's the problem though. The reason we in such a fix like this, the reason we're so behind because of slavery. That's why. That's the main point of it. That like I said, there was a groups of people. One group was allowed to marginalize another community based off the color of their skin. They was allowed to chain people while they made money off of that. That's the difference. The education is different. All that is different. And I'm saying we need to start closing those gaps, but we can't close the gaps if we ignore the racist element in it. So all these things need to be worked on, but I'm not going to forget the foundation. I give the example again of the Jewish community. Adolf Hitler is not around. Nazi Germany is not there to fight the Great War again. The power struggle, the power they had has been dismantled. And I'm saying at a certain point, we got to dismantle the power that continues to put us in these types of fixes. But you can't ignore it. So no, Nazi Hitler is not here, or Nazi Germany is not here, but you see the Jewish community, they not allowing nobody to tell them what's anti-Semitic or what's racial, they don't do it. They not even listen to the United States. The United States can't tell them, look, stop going at Hezbollah. Oh, there's a lot of outcry, outrage, doing too much. They're not even listening.
You know where Israel keep telling the United States, cut that motherfucking check. They can tell you can talk all the goddamn anti-Semitic you want to, but what they keep saying is keep cutting that goddamn check.
Yeah, that's not the point I was making. If you don't cut that goddamn check, that wasn't the point I was making, Corey. You didn't took it off.
My point is the economics.
Yeah, but you can't have a social economic if you got people being racist towards that though.
Right now. If you
no amount of money can actually save you from racism,
right now, is more anti-Semitic shit going on the internet right now than it was in Jewish time. But what they telling them, what Netanyahu and the boys is telling them, cut that goddamn check.
Okay, bro.
That's what they tell them. That's what they came off. He flew all the way over here to America and told America and said, look, y'all listening to them fools out there protesting, and y'all ain't cutting that check fat. He said, cut it fat. Can somebody pull that clip up, please?
Man, that's not the point, though. Corey, that's not the point, though, Corey. Corey, you make my point for me, Corey. Well, Corey, okay, so if that wasn't my point in the middle of me making a point, why you bring it up? What's the purpose of saying that?
Because it's one thing you can do something about. They can't do nothing about the anti-Semitic shit because it's on the internet rampant right now. But what they can do is get their pockets fat, though.
Oh, man. Okay.
And that's what they doing. And what Netanyahu said was cut the check faster. Somebody play the clip, please. They think I'm lying. He came right here to Congress. He came right here to the United States Congress and told your Congress to cut the check faster.
Man, but my overreaching point was very, very simple. They do not allow anybody, whether it be the United States, whether it be Corey and them, explaining them what Semitic is or how much money you should give. I'm saying they dictate their policies, is what I'm saying. And I'm saying we can do the same damn things because when it's time, we do the same things, bro.
No, we cannot do the same. We cannot do the same.
Yes, we do.
That's not even real.
Let me get Cedric in the building. Let me get Cedric in the building.
That's not true.
Man, we got Cedric in the building, man. So, what's going on, man?
Tell what Netanyahu said, Cedric. Tell what Netanyahu said.
Hold on, let me get it out. Let get it out.
So we can all understand and come to a consensus, because I'm hearing everybody and we're speaking from different plateaus. Let me say this. The disease is racism, and the disease has which expresses itself in socioeconomic point of view, right?
Right.
So we have different aspects within the realm of socioeconomic, and it works on both spectrums. The disease affects both parties in different ways. We can always, and with every disease, we often can't cure the disease, but what we can do is treat the symptom. So now treating the symptoms would be addressing the socioeconomic circumstance. However, in medical terms, we always look and are busy fighting the disease itself. So we're going to walk and chew gum at the same time. We're going to invest and explore all the ways better our socioeconomic position, which is lessening the symptoms of racism, and at the same time, through fundamental education process in which we are seeing, right, address the issues of racism, which is the underlying disease, right? And once we frame the conversation like that, I think we all can understand what we're talking about, because there is no point of it that I don't agree with both parties. The disease is racist. We can attack that. Education, legislation, these type of things. Of course, there are going to be individuals, because we're talking about a whole society. And
Changing body's mind.
the socioeconomic circumstances, which are the symptoms which cause the suffering and all the ill effects that we see in predominantly African American community. However, we talk about legislation to fix those socioeconomic situations would be addressing the issues rather than addressing the phenomena of race. Because as a government, I don't think you can pinpoint or engage in race politics, because again, you would be racist. So those policies would predominantly affect the African American community. That's treating the symptoms, and at the same time, we need to acknowledge the disease and continue to address it.
Yeah, but when Netanyahu said cut the check faster, the Congress got up and stood up and started clapping. They did a standing ovation because they're gonna cut that check. Because it's more anti-Semitic shit going on right now than in the time of Hitler right now. But he didn't come over here to talk.
Man,
people calling him nigger or whatever it is. He didn't come over here to talk about that. He came over here to tell you, because that's what they cutting the check with is your tax dollars, right? He told your representatives to cut the check faster. So when you want to talk about giving the example of Jewish people, that's the kind of example that matters right there. Whether somebody calls me a nigger or not, don't matter. It don't matter.
So you talking about a country or who you talking about? A country?
I think both. I get what you're saying.
He can't do nothing. He can't. It don't matter that the guy down the street don't like niggas, right? I own my property.
Corey, I get what you're saying. I own mine. But I think we both can agree, like, there are valid points on both sides. Like
I never said it wasn't nothing about racism. I hope y'all.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I get it. So we don't got to be
Netanyahu who know that is anti-Semitics out there.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So come over here to talk about that.
Corey, but
came over here to tell y'all to cut that check.
But a country though, you gonna use a country though?
So Corey,
you just use Jewish people.
Corey, the issue is
you just use the whole people.
Hold on.
I was simply talking about the anti-Semitism. I wasn't talking about in the middle of a war, bro. Wasn't talking about in the middle of a war, bro.
One of them you can do something about, and the other one
you can.
So you saying you can't do nothing about it? That is so crazy. They have done a lot about it. You know what it's called? It's called legislation. It's called all kind of different things.
All kind of anti-Semitic legislation.
Hold on, Corey.
Okay, so that means you can do something about it. Then, Corey.
We can do something
about it.
There's more anti-Semitic shit going on than in the damn.
Corey, I tell you what.
Nazi Hitler day.
I tell you what.
Or not, but listen.
He just made that up. He just said that.
Legislation right now.
Said that.
Listen. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't see it in my. But what's what I'm saying, Corey? Listen, I think the example Cedric gave was perfect. Address both sides and to give validity to both sides of arguments. So we don't got.
But here's the
let me get Chef in. Let me get Chef.
Yeah, but once they say they agree with both of them, what's the comment? So they must not agree with both sides.
Let me just say this.
Let me get
Chef.
I said the overemphasizing, right?
That's what we keep forgetting. That's the part. Yeah, right.
Well, who was doing that though?
Hold on, no. When you keep saying, and just so we clear, Cedric, good point. But when we keep saying that they're intertwined and they're identical twins and this, that, and the other, what goes across TV and all across social media is this racist cop shot a black woman. Mm-hmm. So what all we're saying is this: if they're so intertwined, if there's so much the same, if there's so much identical twins, then right after you say that this racist cop killed this black woman, start talking about the socioeconomic factors. But we know that don't happen. So what happens is, throughout this whole case, it's going to be race, 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 black, white, race, race, race. And then once he's put in jail or they shoot him in the face like he shot her, give him the death penalty, right? When this all goes away, all those socioeconomic factors are going to still be there because the entire time they're hyper focused on the fact that it's I get
it, but we're not that's
talking
the
point.
I get it, but I don't think nobody's on the panel.
Divide
hold on.
And unrest in America.
Hold on. Listen, nobody on the panel though is talking about a hyper focus, right?
Right. How that comes?
No, I'm talking about what they're doing. I ain't talking about other people.
So I just want to keep. I'm
talking about what happens in the
realm. I get it, but let's keep it in the realm. Otherwise,
I don't care about what everybody's saying on the panel.
No, what I'm saying is like when you make it and address it in that way, then. Like if you address the world at large in a conversation that I'm having with you, then you paint the picture as if I am the person that's making the conversation.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that any of y'all are saying that. What I'm saying is I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, I don't get into the back and
right. So let's get.
Corey said it's difficult to talk to me.
To talk to internet niggas like took it personal, like what he just said.
I'm not talking about y'all.
Internet niggas. Who is internet niggas, Corey?
So
what are you talking about?
So Ronnie Tim and that.
What did you say, Corey? What did you say, Corey?
Hey, no.
What did you say, Corey?
If you don't want to be offended, don't make me repeat myself.
Repeat yourself, Corey.
If you're gonna
be a man and repeat yourself.
Do all that. Do what you just did.
Be a man and repeat yourself, Corey. Man up, nigga.
Be a man and don't do it, Corey.
Yeah, be a man, yo. Show some heart, nigga.
We be a man.
Show some heart.
Have the heart.
I say show some heart, because last time I checked, you're an internet nigga, because we both on the internet. So big up to all the internet niggas that's on the show right now. 1, 2, 3. It's 5 internet niggas. Big up to all the internet niggas. There you go.
I appreciate it.
All right. We gotta goddamn bring it back. Y'all tripping. I had to finally mute everybody. That's the first time. Nigga. We finna got look, get the show back on the road. All right, boom. They all niggas come off mute. Just said I want Chef to chime in first, man, for y'all take my show off the rails, man.
We good. I ain't doing that. Big up to Chef, the internet nigga. What's up, Chef?
Yeah, Chef, definitely a bona fide internet nigga.
I'm a bona fide internet nigga. I ain't
mad. Internet nigga to the core, nigga. What up, Chef? Internet nigga official.
What's up with y'all?
We need that show. The internet nigga.
See the internet nigga.
Like that shit. I like that shit. What's good, though?
No, chilling. I just clicked on because I seen all y'all on. You know what I mean? No, I was enjoying the conversation. Y'all keep going.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Cedric go to say something. I said it with the chop back and he said what?
Cedric is from the islands and he's an internet nigga. What's up, Cedric?
I wanted to say, with regards to the Sonia Masai case, we need to then, again, when we look at what's taking place, when we dissect disease from symptoms, we have to look at this and see this is a direct result of the disease, right? His actions was a direct result of disease. Now, maybe the symptoms, right, triggered his action, but his action was a direct result of the disease. So his racism is what triggered or initiated the firing of the gun. I've seen situations where crazy people with knives and cops talk them down, but of course they were similar phenotypes, right? So this is a direct result of the disease. And now addressing the disease, the fact that this disease exists, Brass, and highlighting it is part of getting rid of the disease. That doesn't mean that the focus shouldn't be on the treating of the symptoms. But of course, treating of symptoms is a process. It never happens overnight, right? And attention needs to be focused on treating those symptoms. However, addressing the fact that this disease exists, racism, which is the underlying impetus for the shooting, we cannot pretend that doesn't exist. We need to continue to highlight it, continue to talk about it, continue to illustrate the fact that it exists, because this disease dies through awareness, through self-reflection, and through education, right? That doesn't take away from the fact that the symptoms, which are a result of having the disease, needs to be addressed as well. So even if you can cure the disease, the symptoms that the disease has produced still need to be treated. So again, it's a situation where once you frame the conversation correctly, you're not going to make a category error and slip and slide into the one and the next, right? That's why I frame things based on categories and keep them very distinct when I'm talking about it. When I look at the cops' actions, I can attribute that straight to the disease, that's racism. Now, how do we deal with that? That's a long-term process by creating and continuing the awareness, but at the same time, the effects of that disease, which are the socioeconomic situation that we're in, also need to be addressed.
Yeah, Brass, you can unmute yourself. You should be able to unmute yourself, Brass. Just so Brass know. You should be unmute yourself, Brass.
Hey, so Sosa, this is what I mean. This is what I be meaning.
Hold on, let me see if let me get Brass off mute real quick.
Okay.
Everybody else just came up mute on their own. Let me do it one more time. Let me get it one more time. Let's see what's going on. I'm gonna mute everybody again, and I'm gonna unmute everybody right now. I don't know how to tell you that. Yeah. Boom. All right, come on mute, everybody. Brash, will come on mute.
I come off.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, we good. Go ahead, Gordon.
So
don't talk about internet niggas.
No, I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying, right? Like the conversations be kind of weird to me, right? Because we get into this whole back and forth about one or the other, or which one is more important, right? And the conversation started as we understood that the fact that we've started the conversation with the fact that it was race, right? From the very beginning, right? But we talked about how we hyper focus on that all the time, and we never focus on the socioeconomic parts of it, right? We never focus on the healthcare system and how that's all jacked up and how we could do better off with that, right? Like that's how the conversation began. Then it came in about, as if we was talking about one or the other, right? When I clearly stated too that the man didn't see her as being human. That's why it was so easy for him to do what he did. I talked about the cultural difference, right? When he had he been a black man, right? And because we talked about how she said, "Rebuke you, I rebuke you." You know what I mean? That means like in the black neighborhood, like that just means like you on bullshit, and I just don't. I don't appreciate the bullshit you on. Basically, is in a nutshell, right? We talked about that already. But then when niggas get on, it's like it turns into an argument about one or the other, and that's not where I was going at all, right? So this is what I'm saying, like why it'd be hard to have conversations with certain people, you know what I mean? Because it always
so just say me though, yo, because I'm the only nigga that got on here though, Corey.
No,
I'm the only one you got on here, and I never made a this or that, Corey.
Hard to have a conversation.
No, I'm just saying, but Corey, you the one made the whole conversation confusing, and I think you do this shit on purpose.
No, I
actually understand you do it on purpose.
About everything I was.
No, you wasn't, Corey. You wasn't at all. You know what you said to me,
but you.
Corey. What you said to me was this, Corey. You said I don't have an issue because y'all was having a fucking what you want to call it, whatever the hell you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. I want to be like you, though, Corey.
Let's talk about something else, bro.
I'd like to be like you, Corey.
We're gonna fit it. Let me fit it up. I know Uncle going live at 5:30. We're gonna say
like the how the conversation. It seems like I'm the one though, right? But the conversation
don't seem like you the one.
The conversation was civil. We was having a grown up.
Me and Brass ain't tripping. What's the difference between me and you?
It ain't about you and Brad. Me and you.
No, I'm saying what's the difference between me and you and Brass? This conversation.
I don't know what the difference.
What's the difference though? Yo, just think about it. Me and him having the same conversation that me and you having.
Don't say what the difference is, but
what's
it's a difference. Believe that.
All right, but listen.
You should tell me the difference. You should once again. You should man up and tell me the damn difference.
It don't matter. This is.
It do matter because I'm eloquent enough not to bring up the past, Corey. I don't have a problem with you. I don't have to bring up the past. I don't have to bring it up. I'm not sensitive like that, bro.
Right now,
I'm not sensitive like that.
If we've
I'm
already
talking about
agreed,
the fact how we was having a grown-up civil conversation.
And we continue to have one until you drop the niggas this and that and other and can't have a civil. You started that. I didn't, Corey. I was well within my right. I just simply made my points. And then you start acting crazy. When I say acting crazy, you started making up shit.
Listen, the best way to continue the conversation is just address it on the information.
Well, that's what I thought.
We can't do.
I just addressed the information.
I know, but if you can't make it internet.
Certain niggas got on the show.
Y'all 5 minutes ago, bro. Y'all still.
But you sneak this, nigga. I'm right here. You can address.
Let's just keep it on that. And if we all agree that,
why you bring that back up, though?
Because I felt like bringing it up, like you felt like bringing it up.
If we already agree that there's angles to both sides, we could disagree where we agree and disagree where we disagree.
I ain't disagreeing though. That's my point. That's my point. I never had a disagreement though. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the point that I wanted us to make, and I think this is where we do disagree, right? Because kind of Brass is saying that he alluded to the idea in a sense that racism is something we can't do nothing like. He said, like in a nutshell, and I'm just paraphrasing, like the social economic stuff is something we can deal with, and racism is not.
Yeah, I'm of that. I'm of that.
Right, and the counter argument to that is no. This racism can also be addressed, and I think that's the analogy that Shetty was given through with the disease. This is where we differ at, and I kind of.
So give me an example, like a practical example that you can do, not an analogy.
I'm gonna give you.
Man, the consensus on the conversation.
I could just be direct. Is that crime will always exist? There's nothing you can do to alleviate crime, right? But there's things and protocols and shit that you can put in place to alleviate that and lessen it to a degree in certain situations, social economic situations, blah, 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 so forth and so on. Racism also is addressed through those sort of same type of angles to social awareness, lessening, because it's simple. When we look at where we were in the 60s and where we are now, it's night and day. We don't need a stat to know that.
I mean, I gave the example of hanging to getting shot down in your living room. That was wild to me. That was a wild example to me.
What I'm saying is that the social ideas can change just as fast, or sometimes even faster than social economic understanding. Matter of fact, I would argue that the social ideas change before the economics happen. This is the ideas is what leads to the economic change that you see. So
yeah, but we got to have ideas about the economics, not the race, though. How are we going to change the economics if we always talking about is how racist somebody is?
No, I think, but I think if we can agree and disagree that you're saying leave the race out, and Unc is saying, and some people will
I ain't saying leave it out.
He's not saying leave the race out. That's why I keep bringing it back up. We're not saying.
I'm saying we hyper focused on the race, though.
Yeah, but we're
that's
not.
what I'm saying.
But I don't think nobody in the conversation that we're having about, we're not talking about hyper focus on it. But we're saying
that's what I was saying. I've been saying that from the beginning.
No, but what we're saying is that this is where the rift happens at. You're saying what y'all said was leave the fact out of it that this is a black and white. There's a white cop shoot a black lady.
I thought I heard that.
I'm not saying that's not what I said.
That.
And that's exactly.
But I heard that.
Talking about what I said. That's when you keep trying to paraphrase what I'm saying, when you keep trying to paraphrase what I'm saying, you keep messing it up.
It's recorded. We're gonna go back. We're gonna just go back.
I'm not saying leave race out of it. I want to be very clear, bro. For the fourth time, I'm not saying leave race out of it. I distinctly said they're deeply intertwined.
I don't know how
I'm saying. All I'm saying is this: when you just keep focusing, hyper focusing on the fact that it was a race shooting, and you never address whatever how Cedric said, the symptoms. When you just don't really bring those symptoms on, if they're deeply intertwined, then technically you should talk about them the same way. This was a white cop who shot a black woman. She lived in this neighborhood. This was her employment. This is the stats. This is that. So what I'm saying is they don't ever do that second
But
half.
the black cops just beat the boy to death in the middle of the street.
They don't do the second half. So all I'm saying is yes, the race should be addressed. The race should be addressed.
Focus on outliers. Outliers are irrelevant.
And I'm saying, no, they're not irrelevant. They should be addressed.
No, outliers are irrelevant.
The fact that she lived in Springfield, Illinois, y'all don't know what Springfield,
outliers
Illinois is.
Are relevant. That's why they're called outliers. That means
it wouldn't be an outlier. It wouldn't be an outlier if we put it in its proper context. Is what they're saying. The fact that you're calling it an outlier is because they're black, but the fact that they're cops is what makes them not the outliers. Is the common denominator is that cops treat black people a certain type of way.
Wow.
Right?
That is race. That's the disease. That's race.
Because they don't have the means. They don't have the means to get to go
to defend themselves. Right, and they can't.
So now we're back. Right, and now we're back to race.
So let me ask you a question. Since we say
hold on.
Definitely got to have a. Someone said we got to have a part 2 of this conversation. I agree.
But it's economic also.
Hold on, said it. Let Chef finish. Then said it.
Then I want to read. I want to read this. I got a source. I got
Chef said it. Then we're gonna let Unc come in. Go ahead.
So it's economic also. That's why they keep saying these things are intertwined. Like if we just try to keep separating these things away from each other, when we all know that they're intertwined, right? Poor people don't have the apparatus to defend themselves like more affluent people, right? Then the problem is we also have racism involved in that. But the poor white boy down South Baltimore get harassed and treated bad by law enforcement the same way the poor black dude do. You dig what I'm saying? So it's the problem with law enforcement, right? It's the problem with you put race. We just
racism, right?
Classism, economic classism over top of each other, and they're all intertwined.
But listen,
I get it.
Said it next, but you got to agree, Chef. In the midst of that conversation, and you bring up a black car to beat up some black dude, it sounds like, nigga, what about black on black crime? That's all I'm saying. That's why we got to address that.
Yeah, but when you say cops treat black people different,
can I just read this source?
Hold on, let me get Cedric. Let Cedric make a statement. Then read a statement. Let's get Cedric. We just have,
Um,
hey, listen, it's a conversation, fellas.
Yeah, I'm feeling some
It's a
classism up here too.
conversation,
Just
fellas.
Right.
just let you know.
If that's how
There's some
shallow you think,
classism
I
going
can't
on
help
up
you.
here
Concrete,
too.
listen,
You know
but
what I
hear what
mean?
I'm saying, bro. Listen.
Yeah, I
I
know what's
thought you were
going
smarter
on.
than that. That's
No,
why I'm
but
having a
here,
conversation with
here's
you.
what I'm saying, and I am smarter than that, Corey. See, I can take that shot, and it don't fade me none.
That's why I'm having a conversation
But
with you.
listen,
I
but
ain't
listen
having a
what I'm
conversation
saying.
with somebody
It's
who I
it's
don't think
it's
who
it's,
can
it's a
understand what I'm
it's a
saying, though.
conversation, though. Don't get all bent up out of shape, but it's just a conversation.
I,
I
I'm
want to have a part two. Now, Cedric go and then let Unc read his source. And if you want to share, Unc, you can. Go ahead, Cedric.
I hear what Chef is saying, and to a great degree that is true because of course there are poor white neighborhoods, there are poor neighborhoods of other ethnic folks that have a higher degree of police interaction based on the socioeconomic circumstance. However, we cannot deny that there is a disparity in police brutality towards black folks and a higher rate of shooting incidents, right? So we know for a fact that it's race motivated. Corey said it. We can't deny it. And when we are talking about this particular situation, right, the race, the disease is being highlighted because the symptoms affect the community regardless, right? The symptoms of racism, which produces these socioeconomic effects, right, is not the reason, right? The reason why this white cop shot this black woman. We all can agree that was a racist situation. And that's the disease expressing itself. And how you deal with that disease is the point Sosa was making by highlighting it, because to change a social environment is much easier than changing the socioeconomic situation. And to talk about the socioeconomic situation in an isolated case when it's clearly race motivated is a bit disingenuous. You focus this in this instant on the disease, but I'm not saying at no point in time does the discussion on a legislative level about dealing with the socioeconomic situation, right, isn't warranted. Yes, if her medical insurance was better, she might have been under better care, etc., 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 whereby the cops wouldn't have necessarily even need to show up. So I understand these points, right? However, we cannot take away from the fact that this is the disease expressing itself, right? Because the likelihood of him having shot someone that looked like his mom, who probably has a drinking problem and goes off sometime, would have been much smaller.
Go ahead, you want to share or you just want to read it?
So the article entitled Multi-Level, all right, it's dealing with analysis of racial bias in police shootings at the county level in the United States, 2011-2014, PLAWS argument, right? Article, right? And it just basically talks about this research explores the racial disparities in police shootings, okay? So I never thought that anybody was in particular saying it one way or the other after everybody kind of explained themselves, right? But the overall consensus in it, right? Y'all can just put the shit in Chat GPT. Y'all, I mean, we ain't afraid of that, right? Okay, so let me read this. It say, while the relationship between racism and police shootings is complex. I think we all agree to that. And influenced by various factors. I think we all agree to that. Okay. There is a consensus that racial bias plays a significant role in the problem. Okay. So I would like to also say that.
Say that we all agree to that, like you said, we all agree to the other point.
Well, I don't want to say it that way because you know what I mean? That's what you should say, Chef. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. So I'm saying, like, I don't understand the overall point, which ain't true. And I hear this, I've heard it several times today, that it's an untrue statement that Black people aren't concerned about the social economic status. We have educators, We have lawmakers that absolutely fight for the greater hold of understanding the social economic status in America. And the fact that some people aren't aware of that has nothing to do with the greater whole of the people that's supposed to be able to make those types of decisions. So yes, Black people fight just as hard for the justice of social economic status as they do for items of racialization, or things that are racialized. We do. And to continue to say it causes a rift. What rift is that? When people hear this over and over, we don't do this, we don't do that, that's a damn lie. Man, if you really start reading documents, right, if you meet the people I've met, educators, doctorate degrees, we have people working on this all the time. So it's not a time we have not fought for equality in our social economic status. So nobody just, the people that you're hollering about the race thing is just the people that's going to always holler the race thing. So we absolutely have people look like me and you, right, that's on their heads for that write papers, that publish articles, that submitting documentation. So we can't continue to always say we're not doing this, but we hyper focus on that. No, we hyper focus on the whole damn thing. That's the point I just want to make. That I'm done.
I disagree. I think it's a good point that you're making, but I disagree. I think when it comes to now all the other stuff, I know people work on STEM. I know I deal with policy directly. I deal with politicians directly, legislation directly. So I understand, legislation geared towards socioeconomic factors, but I'm not talking about the world in general. I'm talking specifically about Sonia Massey, and then we moved on to police shootings of white cops to Black people. In this case, it was a Black woman, rest in power. The people that I'm speaking to, right? When I say they or people, I would never say that Black people aren't working on socioeconomic issues. I don't even know where that comes from. When I say that it's hyper focused, is I'm having a media conversation. I'm having a conversation of what you would call water cooler conversations. Is that when these shootings happen, right, where a white cop shoots a Black cop, when these shootings happen, the discussion is Black versus white. It's a race thing. And then what happens is you go look at the media that's covering it. They don't talk about they don't talk about STEM. They don't talk about redlining. They don't talk about, where she lived. They don't talk about her mental health. They don't talk about the socioeconomic factors. They specifically hyper focus on, and I'm talking about the media, which I think is more dangerous than anything, right? And I'm a part of the media, which is, my own confliction. But what they hyper focus on. So when I say hyper focus on, I'm not talking about anybody on this panel. When I say they, I mean what's going to be plastered when you Google Sonia Massey and shooting. They're not going to talk about the socioeconomic factors. They're not even going to talk about the process that led up to him shooting her. They're just going to specifically focus on a white cop shot a Black woman. And I just think that that's counterproductive. That's all I'm saying. If it wants to be taken and made into something else, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the media, not the work that we do. I know you work towards it. Corey works towards it. Sosa works towards it. Through these media shows that we do, what we're doing right now works towards it to bring attention to the situation. I'm talking about media. I'm talking about to keep us at the cooler, to keep us divided, to keep us in a state of division with Black versus white, things like that. So racism has never died. So when we keep saying, let's work on racism, when you just try to, what is it? How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So what I'm saying is by working on the socioeconomic factors, we will be working on racism. But racism has been here. I think it's going to be here. But I think we can work towards the socioeconomic symptoms of racism, not necessarily just try to end racism. Because racism is still here. It's never ended. Whether we did anything, racism is still here. I don't even think it's something that we could end. I don't think legislation necessarily can end racism. I just think you focus on you like an elephant, you eat it one bite at a time.
Yeah, that's what I said. I can agree, but that's true. That's true with everything. Crime can never end. Rape will never end. hate will never end, killings will never, like all these things will never end. I do think that social change happens first before, like, I think the policies come when people change socially, when the minds change. That's why sometimes we say, we had this conversation, somebody's got to die. That's what that's what we're talking about when we say, yeah, some of these niggas die.
Yeah.
We're saying, yeah, so the social ideas, the social thoughts can change within the spectrum. We got American Dream pulling up to the show. What's going on, American Dream? I know you heard a lot. You go ahead and get it off.
I think everybody's on mute except me and you.
Yeah, I see him on mute. You can unmute yourself though.
No, I'm just here. So
American Dream, you want to comment? Oh no.
I'm just waiting on American Dream.
I got here American Dream. He gonna let you know where you at.
You want to let him speak first? Yeah. Go ahead.
He gonna let you know where you at. I like that.
He always comes with peace.
Yeah, I like that. We're gonna see right now. He gonna draw that line in the damn sand hard. Watch this.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I think a line does kind of need to be drawn. Peace to everyone. Because if I'm not mistaken, right? If this case was to go to court and a part of the case was that it was racially motivated, and the only evidence that they had to say that it was racially motivated was that he's white and she's black. And that's the only evidence they have to bring in the racial part. I don't think it would hold up in court. And I'm actually shocked that it's actually holding up with you guys who say you're scientifically literate, but you're jumping to saying this is racism without any evidence at all that there was any racism involved. I could see if when he shot her, he called her a nigga, or if during the video he made some comment about something, but I don't know of anything like that. And it just sounds to me as if the only evidence you're using to say that it's racism is the fact that he's white and she's black. And a couple of people I think have literally just said that. That's all they need. And that's just, for me, that's a little bit disappointing. And I think when Ankh started, he mentioned Candace Owens speaking on this and saying that that this was going to be that they were just going to politicize the shooting. And I think this is exactly what she means, like, because we're the only thing we're talking about is racism, even though there's no evidence that racism had anything to do with it, but that's our focus and that's what we want to talk about. So we're just kind of taking advantage of it for some other reason. And again, I'm just a little bit disappointed that we're jumping to that big conclusion.
Well, we live to disappoint. You know how we do. Like with you, we love to disappoint you. That's kind of what we like doing. We kind of get a kick out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I hate the narrative as if, like, one thing I do hate about some of these conversations, that because Black people are saying is racism, somehow their brain has been shut down to also acknowledge, like, we don't hear other Black people saying, I can't believe he was on the force. And they had we think had DUI. Then he got discharged from the service. Like, in the midst of us, like, the whole walk and chew gum at the same time, it seems as if we're only doing one thing. No matter how much evidence we had that we're doing all these things at the same time, we always paint the narrative as if all we're doing is one thing. All we're talking about is racism. You know what I'm saying? All the possibilities of it. And we just talked about, when we looked at that in terms of, in the beginning, we said, I think you probably missed the beginning of the show. We talked about whenever you can't unsee color, you can't forget trauma. So whenever you see a white person shoot a Black person, it harkens back to something. Now, whether that can be proven in a court of law, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? We can look into his background, things of that, but we can only surmise if he was racist or not. And even, you know what I mean? But like, that's not like an end game for us. If we found out he had a wife, that's not gonna fucking.
I just think regardless of all of that, the point still stands that there's no evidence of race involved anywhere, but we jumped to the conclusion, and we're even going farther where we're calling racism is a disease, and I'm like, where is the racism involved? And now you're even doubling down and you want to attack racism now and then talk about racism. And I'm like, okay, now I understand what
Because
he may
we
have
talked
been
about
talking
the
about.
reason we dealt with racism went into that because we talked about how racism, we talk about social economics and poverty and how these things are intertwined and locked in with people of Black and brown communities. So whenever you're talking about social economic issues, you know, you're pretty much talking about particular racial groups. You know what I'm saying? You're not talking about necessarily whites or Asians. So I mean, it is part and parcel of the conversation. But that's
Yeah.
why we was that dialogue. You trying to go live? You going live?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you said, American Dream. I appreciate everybody's statement, man. We get a little hot, yo, but at the end of the day, man, it's all good, man. We ain't tripping. Yeah, them days of tripping is over with, man. We're gonna keep our blood pressure down, man. Just keep these shows good, man. These variant opinions is good. I just would like to end with this. I think we need to be more clear in what we're saying as not to get confusion. The arguments, I guess, wouldn't happen if we were just more clear. Maybe we just talk past each other, but I was thinking in my mind, based off what I was hearing, was that we should just like, that's not important. That's not the important part of it, or that's not something we like it's more than just it's no more than a police shooting, a woman, and that should be categorized. I don't agree with that. So at the end of the day, man, I appreciate the lively conversations, man. And I'm sure we'll continue having lively conversations. That's what make the thing go right. Appreciate you, Sosa, man, for allowing me on the panel, man, with your esteemed guest, man. Appreciate that. All right, brothers. That go for Corey, Brass, you know what I'm saying? DQ, man. And of course you, American Dream. And Sosa, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
I know it goes for me
Sure,
most.
sure. Well, I'm finna crank up the community skeptics. Man, we can branch over there, man, and continue to build on and expand some of the conversation a little more, man. We got a tribe meeting in the building. Y'all still going live later on tonight?
Oh yeah, we're going live. We partnered up with
Yeah. We got announcement, man. Try Media,
yeah.
Carnivorous Podcast. We teaming up. We about to do some work together. So everybody tune into that. I'm excited. You know what I mean? I think Try Media, Branson, them got some great ideas. They very ambitious. So they got me excited. They got me amped up. So hopefully, we see what we do tonight.
What time y'all going live?
7:30 on 7:30 on Chef Channel.
It's gonna be on both. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be on both channels. It's gonna be on our channel and Chef Channel. Carnivorous Podcast Coalition, Tri-Media Partnership. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
For sure. I'm gonna pop in, see what's going on with it, man. And Seth, you got any closing words? Everybody, subscribe, man.
It is a disease. It's a disease.
If you recognize,
he nailed that shit though. He nailed that shit.
That was a good one. That was a good analogy. I give him that. That was a damn good analogy.
Yeah, it is. I tend to need to do that because of I continuously see too many category errors when we're having conversation, and we tend to talk past each other. I agree with the way the media highlights or bring forth racial issues. They plain it. They create this oppositional character instead of addressing the issue itself. Like the fact Corey says he saw her as less than a human. I think if the media would stop there for a second and engage in dialogues like we have, where does that come from? What is the underlying reason? Talk about pseudoscientific concepts which led to these ideas that permeate still throughout our community would be far more effective in dealing with the disease, racism, than creating an emotional response which puts us in adversary position, which continues to fuel the racism at the end of the day. So I agree with you there. However, the fact that this is the racial component is a great part of the outcome. Again, do you think he would have shot this woman if it was someone looking like his mom or his sister? I tend to think not. So that is where we need to continue to address the disease itself, and of course, all the efforts to address the socioeconomic symptoms of racism needs to be focused on. But we need to walk and chew gum at the same time.
I'm sorry, Cedric. Do you mind if I ask you a quick question?
Hey,
this ain't the battleground.
Okay, you're right.
Sosa, can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to say. I just want to share my screen.
Can I say something real quick then? Can I just say my last thing before while he shares his screen?
Yeah.
Just just to respond to what Cedric said. He said
Go ahead.
Nah, don't worry about
it. Yeah, he said that the guy wouldn't have shot someone who looked like his mother or his sister. And I was gonna ask him if he thinks this guy thinks every white woman looks like his mother or sister. So to say he wouldn't shoot his mother or sister doesn't mean he wouldn't shoot any white person. I just don't see the connection there either. He says racism is a disease, and I may be wrong. You don't have to cut me off to tell me I'm wrong, Cedric. But I think I think people who think that they cannot be racist find it also easy to say racism is a disease. Like Black people think that they can't be racist for whatever reason. And I think it's because of that we like to say racism is a disease. It's something we're putting on. Yeah, some Black people. But I think that's kind of what makes it easy for us to label it a disease, because it has nothing to do with us, because we don't want to say we have a disease. But yeah, I think it's just really.
You know that white people.
I thought this wasn't the battleground. Let me just say one last piece. Go ahead, Thunder. I'm sorry. It's your show.
Go ahead, set that out, then I'm gonna close out.
I was just saying that the same way there's a parallel with the political thing where we are willing to kind of give up our scientific literacy in order to promote this idea of racism. Like, we want to say it's racism without any evidence, so we're giving up our scientific literacy. We're just saying it's racism for no reason other than he's white. So the same way we're willing to sacrifice our values for this thing. Like, there are a lot of other things that I'm noticing that we're willing to sacrifice.
You gotta land a plane.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna land it right now. I'm just noticing that that's not the only thing we're willing to sacrifice in order for political ends. It's not just our scientific literacy values. We're also willing to sacrifice other things. And I think those things are going to come out as the election gets closer. But thanks for your time.
Yeah. Hey, man, but man, look, good show, man. We're gonna continue the conversation, keep it cracking. Yeah, man, Sosaworld, man. I thought it was a good show, man. Nice, good bill, man. You ain't get too crazy, man. But we're gonna ride out, man, to a little DQ. I can't get my goddamn thing to share without. I just get to share this. I gotta do another time, man. But yo, Sosaworld TV, we out, man. Brass, I'm gonna get up with y'all. Pull up on y'all show later on, man. Peace.
For sure. Later.
Where you going? Send the link. Send the link. We about to take a trip to Sosa's world. Have some good talks up in Sosa's world. Yeah, dialogue up in Sosa's world. Have your avatar, this is Sosa's world. Yeah, we be chillin' up in Sosa's world. So don't start tripping, this is Sosa's world. Classroom setting up in Sosa's world. You might get muted, this is Sosa's world. Big boss, yeah, Sosa's world. Got my own shit now, Sosa's world. Yeah, monetize up in Sosa's world. So come and socialize up in Sosa's world. All them other channels, they be talking crazy. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, baby. All them other channels, they be acting lazy. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, baby. All them other channels, they be talking crazy. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, baby. All them other channels, they be acting lazy. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, baby. about to take a trip to Sosa's World. Have some good talks up in Sosa's World. Yeah, dialogue up in Sosa's World. Have your avatar, this is Sosa's World. Yeah, we be chillin' up in Sosa's World. So don't start tripping, this is Sosa's World. Classroom setting up in Sosa's World. You might get muted, this is Sosa's World. Big boss, yeah, Sosa's World. Got my own shit now, Sosa's World. Yeah, monetize up in Sosa's World. So come and socialize up in Sosa's World.